Hello and welcome to the We Recommend podcast, a movie podcast where every week we recommend a movie for you to watch and then come back here and listen to us discuss. I'm Jesse.
I'm Jason.
I'm Dakota.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. Because this week we recommend John Wick, baby!
Yeah. Where's Rachel?
Where's Rachel? Dude, he could have been Batman.
He should have been Batman.
He has a great Batman voice when he does that. It's wild. Cool. So before we get into it, right? I don't think I've asked anybody this question in this room. What makes a great action movie to you? And I'm doing weird hand movements.
Like puppets. Like,
Well, bullets.
Yeah.
Explosions.
Yeah.
It depends.
It is
I think it would depend on how you, because I have different classifications of what makes a good movie, like what I'm going into it. I think John Wick to me is its own classification now because of the stunts and Keanu doing his own thing. Feel like it's like Jackie Chan level of action.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have a lot of stunts in there for
Just
like
less goofy.
body stunts versus like action that's just like over the top effects and explosions.
Mm-hmm.
And just leaning into that. I love that. That's like when you lean into what you are and owning your own genre, like 80s movies are so fucking fun to watch action in 80s movies.
Yeah. I think for me, it varies on movie, but I think if the movie has a clear idea of what type of action it wants to do, if it wants to do over the top, then let's do over the top. But it has to stay in that same like realm.
You're exactly
Because like John Wick, like think about the part where the car, like towards the end, the car falls like kind of a far away, like at the harbor, and it doesn't explode. Which is
Yeah.
and it's great because the whole time the movie has been realistic, air quotes, because you know, I don't fucking think people can just keep doing this over and over. But at least like in terms of the fighting and like the way things aren't just exploding everywhere, it's like, it's more of a realism. But if it's going to be like a Michael Bay movie and everything's batshit crazy, that's okay for everything to explode. And also clarity in terms of the action. I have to know what's going on. And if I don't know what's going on, I don't like it. Like the movie I always come back to is Alien Covenant. I don't know if y'all remember watching that.
Remember that one.
It is so jittery and it cuts like crazy. Like when the two robots, Michael Fassbender's fight, it's unbearable to watch.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
And I was literally like in my chair watching in the theater, like, what are we doing, Ridley Scott? But in this, you know, it's very clear what's happening. It looks great.
Well, that's like I think I mentioned that in one other episode I did before. Maybe it was pre-talk before it. It was when I went and watched the first Bourne movie and the shaky and everything. I was like, I can't, there's too much, like what is happening right now?
Yeah.
We can't focus on a single fight, a punch without cutting away, going to a different angle. I'm like,
and that's Paul Greengrass. That's like his style.
I hated it because after watching John Wick and I went on Jackie Chan thing for a while watching because there's stunts he does.
Watch Police Story, everybody.
I do need to watch that. Wait, which one was that one?
It's a Police Story.
Is that like Rush Hour?
No, it's like one of his, like, I think it's like earlier works of Jackie Chan, and it's in Chinese.
We should do Rush Hour at some point because I just watched a thing about Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan and it cracked me up. But clear action, once I kind of figured out that's what that is, when I enjoyed that, it's hard to watch. Like when I went back to try and watch Transformers, like everyone talks about how they can't watch anything, and I didn't realize how much when the robots are just fighting, they're just like blending together. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on.
They're just fighting over Mrs. Fox.
Because the same thing happened in the first Venom movie at the end where the bad guy and Venom are fighting on a space at night, and Venom's black, and the other guy is like dark red or something, and they're like fused together fighting. Like, I have no idea what's going on.
Why it's gotta be about color with Venom? Yeah.
Yeah, those and that's kind of like Transformers, where it's like I don't know who the good guy and the bad guy is. Like we have to figure out how to make things look more clear.
Well, I think Rise of the Beasts or something, it was better. It was Yeah, it was a lot more clear because it was literally during the day at one point where they were fighting, and it's not like a bunch of things tackling at once. And The thing with Michael Bay's Transformers, they have a lot more mechanical parts showing, so there's a lot darker.
Ooh, Dakota, your mechanical parts are showing.
Yeah, that's the one where all the Transformers kind of start grinding together. And you're like, are they fighting? Or
versus like, because in the Rise of the Beast, they all have more like a classic design.
Is that gorilla humping that semi truck?
I hope so.
They do love each other.
Ooh, stick it in my tailpipe,
How
daddy.
do Transformers
Where's your
have
banana?
sex?
I don't think they do. I think they just
have to.
They don't.
Well,
There
I mean,
are female Transformers though.
they do pee in one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bumblebee
They
pees
have
on John Turturro.
and they also have nuts because remember in the
Love
second
that.
one, the giant one that fused from like 5 of them. He's like, "Where are you at?" He's like, "I'm under the balls." I'm just wrecking balls.
I'm actually getting really upset that we're talking so much about those shitty movies. All right. Keanu Reeves, right?
Yeah.
I want y'all to do something. Between Matrix, the final Matrix movie, and John Wick, name 3 Keanu Reeves movies.
There weren't any.
Between John Wick and
The Matrix.
was that Knock at the Door? Was that after John Wick, I think?
Knock, knock.
Yeah.
Year after.
Year after. Okay.
Can't name anything, right?
Because he didn't do anything, right?
Yeah. Wow. This guy literally cannot die. Once you think he's out, he pulls you right back in.
Well, you know
God
why
damn
he
it.
did that, right?
Well, no, I mean, he just didn't do any movies that are that memorable.
Well,
And I know that he had some like personal issues. and
Well, I
stuff
think
like that.
in the beginning of The Matrix, or before it, his wife died and like, or their child,
Jesus Christ.
like their
I
child
never knew
had
that.
like, well, their child, like she had a miscarriage or something. It was stillborn. And then his wife died not long after that. But he was already doing The Matrix and he finished that up. And I think after it finished, he just kind of took some time away to like, because he's a very like,
Did you get a dog?
I think he took some time away to like just
Came back to
mourn.
murder movies.
Yeah.
Well, so between Matrix Revolutions and John Wick, he did 15 movies.
Oh, dang.
So he wasn't
Holy
so.
shit.
He just didn't pick any good projects.
What?
He just
any
kind of
movie.
phoned it in for
Um,
15
I
movies.
will say this: I did expect you guys to say one, and that was Constantine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I did love Constantine.
I haven't even seen it.
That's kind of the.
That's a good movie.
And
like,
for me, like I
just-
like Something's Got to Give. He's so fucking hot in that movie.
Constantine's just a good like supernatural like.
I know he was fighting demons, right? And
Yeah.
I think that I do remember him saying something about nails in the coffin or something. Thinking
Maybe.
that was a cool.
He does a good job in that role. That movie was just good. It used to come on like whatever Stars or HBO all the time, and I would watch it. Like I bought like I think I bought the 4K Steelbook
Yeah.
recently. for it.
Well, it's just
Nice.
wild because we think of him as such a big action star, right? Like really, his best action movies. You got Point Break. Which we know
really
Jason's
going there?
opinions.
it always gets brought back up.
Jason, you're very much in the minority there. And then like he goes from like, all right, so 91 up until Speed in 94. He does Speed, one of the great action movies. Shut up, Jason.
I think that's his best acting performance he's ever done.
And then he
is in
goes
Speed.
from 94 to The Matrix, and then he does from 99 to let's see, Reloaded is 2003, or yeah, Revolution is also 2003. So that's his action. And then rom-com, Constantine. The weird Scanner Darkly movie, but that's, just voice acting.
I always
yeah.
kind of wanted to see that.
I
Wasn't
watched
that
the
like real
trailer.
trippy?
Yeah, I watched. My boss sent me a trailer, and I was like, "This is Robert Downey Jr. and Keanu. What is this?"
Richard Linklater did
Oh.
Dazed and Confused and things like that.
Love Dazed
He
and
loves to do
Confused.
like kind of experimental things. But then he does like a lot of like really like B movie type, like 47 Ronin, Man of Tai Chi.
Oh,
Movies like that that are just like nobody really likes or talks about ever. And then he does John Wick. It's just wild. He almost could add that trajectory of of being like Bruce Willis, where it's just nothing but these low budget kind of like movies where he shows up for 5 minutes to film, and sometimes they have to get an actor to like portray the back of his head because he decided not to come out of his trailer that day.
a stand-in.
And it's just wild, like, like when I look at his filmography, I'm like, he's been in my life my entire life. And I've always thought of him as, like, when I think about actors and stuff, I'm like, have I even really watched that many movies of his? It's just like the same 5 or 6 over and over. And I'm like, he's the best goddamn bad actor you've ever seen.
Yeah.
But it's like he could have been like Nick Cage for a while, but he never really,
He's this weird
he's
range.
gotten lucky.
Yeah, well, I think he's just not like Nick Cage is someone we see and everything, but that's because he has bad spending with his money. And
Yeah,
John-
bought
I
a
feel-
castle, just like Taylor Swift. Nick Cage and Taylor Swift are the same.
Mm.
Think about that.
You see what Nick Cage looks like currently for his role as John Madden?
I think I saw it a little bit. Yeah, he's gonna be John Madden.
Me.
You know, he. I don't know if that's a fat suit or if he actually got fat.
That sucks.
He probably
to think about.
He's been kind of.
I already don't want to see this movie.
I can't wait to see it. I want to see it twice at the same time. Football, Nick Cage, I'm in.
I think Keanu is like Bruce Willis and Nick Cage together.
Yeah,
like he's got his little niche.
So a few other things I want to bring up. So in terms of this movie, something that I love is we see him get his ass kicked. Almost say kissed. I was just trying not to say kissed the whole time.
He does get a kiss.
I mean, we'll kiss it now because we love the guy.
Obvious.
But it's something so fun. And it's like, I guess I just didn't remember it as much in the sequels of it, of him just like constantly getting beat up, and it actually feels like he's getting beat up. In this one, it's great. Like, as soon as you meet him, or like we see him get beat up at the very beginning, it's like, oh, cool. It's an action hero that we're actually going to see
blood
die. Until, he gets beat up again, and then he has a doctor like put, stitches in him, and he immediately has a fight.
Yeah, and she punches him several times. I was like, your stitches would be so open.
It's great. We see him fail multiple times through this film. Like when he goes to the nightclub, he gets thrown off the top of the thing, and it's like, I guess I should run away.
Yeah.
My target's gone, but it's like, great.
He wanted to do that stunt on his own, but he wasn't insured to do it.
Yeah.
I love that's another thing I like about him is him like really committing to doing his own stunts.
He did like 90% of his own stunts, I believe.
Yeah. And it's at that age is nuts.
Yeah.
Because usually I think Harrison Ford really had kind of stopped doing his own stunts at that age.
Yeah.
They kind of had to make him once he crashed all those helicopters.
Oh my God.
He's like,
he can't even walk off anything now without hurting himself.
You can't land a plane, and Nathan Fielder landed a Bowie 747. So
a Bowie?
Yeah, whatever. How you say it. Yeah.
He landed a buoy. That's pretty impressive. He got a buoy to fly and then landed it.
Another element of this movie, it only takes like 15 to 20 minutes to set up an entire universe.
Hell
it's like great.
Yeah.
I really love the flow.
He gets his dog. They kill the dog. Guess what?
That's
He's
the
time
end
to
of
kill
everyone.
Yeah. Did the puppy have to be so goddamn cute?
I know. That second, that dog, I was like, Broly, come here, Broly.
It was just like, even every time I watch it, I'm just like, no, every fucking person on this planet deserves to die.
Yeah.
I was telling him.
If he came to my house and said, my dog's dead, I'm like, take me. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't have anything to do with it, but I get it, John. Take me out.
He kills your dog, and you just hear the Kill Bill music. That you just see red. Dun, dun.
That's fucking chemistry we build, baby, between me and Jason. Sorry,
no, my wife thought the same thing. She was like, because she hates all these movies. I feel like this is the kind of movie the guys walk out of the theater and they look like they've just
nutted.
Really?
They've got that post-nut clarity, and the women are all just angry.
See, to me, I always feel like there's something about Keanu Reeves that, like, even though it's like a boy action movie, like Keanu Reeves transcends boy action movies.
He does.
And there's something about it. I think it's because he's so sad looking.
He's so sad. He was a project.
And also, he's so fucking hot in something. Guys, you don't understand.
He's got all those tats.
What makes it also better is how you said the action. You can clearly see what's going on. So they're sitting there able to, like, because we watch the blind action movies and just enjoy it for the crazy, stupid stuff. But like, I feel like if the slower, like, paced action where you can see what they're doing with their fighting, you can actually enjoy it. You're like, oh.
Well, that's something I'm like, man, the action in this movie is so good, right? I feel like even if you're someone who's not really into action movies, you have to be able to watch this and be like, that's so cool. But some people just aren't into this thing. But I'm just like, how not?
Because I mean, she's
how
watched all of them.
Can you be into this?
She's watched all of them. Like, she was ready to see the fourth one.
Yeah.
Of course, we were at the Malco, and our ears were nearly gone in the first few minutes.
Dude,
I haven't seen any of the other ones.
Just when he punches the punching bag. The only issue with the other ones is they get way too long.
They do. They amp it up too a little because, like, he wears a bulletproof vest in this one.
Nah, okay.
He wears bulletproof suits in the next one.
Yeah, like he's like, oh, You're back in here. Things have changed now that the lining is in there. Is able to stop bullets.
Batman.
Pretty much. Like, so they did it just so he didn't have to wear a vest the whole time.
Like, he runs into gunfire while just holding up his suit over his head.
It somehow is able to stop the bullet, but it doesn't stop the like they still feel the sting. It's like it doesn't fully stop the bullet, so you still feel the sting of it. So you see them like,
And you know what, Jason? You think it might be too much, and you know what? It's not enough.
the second
It's
one's
not-
my favorite one.
We need more. Yeah,
They really got like a good stride of like having in between more sequel, but we amped it up more because in the third one, like it goes higher, and then the fourth one goes even higher. But it's so fun to still watch, especially when they bring in Donnie Yen. You know, Ip Man.
Yeah.
He's in the fourth one.
Hell yeah.
And it's
I love
good.
those guys.
It's just really, really long.
I love that movie because no one knows how to say it. Is it Ip Man or IP Man? We just don't know.
I've always said IP Man just
But I
because
think it's
Ip
Ip-
sounds weird.
I think
to
they
me.
said Ip Man at the
Yeah,
end,
you're probably right.
which is weird.
And also another thing, something that's really fun about the movie is how this movie is so good at building a universe, right?
Mhm.
So slowly, it shows you some things at the beginning, and then you're like, "What are these gold coins for?" And then they call the people to take. It's like, "Oh, that's probably just like some cleaners he knows," and he calls, and then he goes to this hotel, and it's like, "What is this lingo? What is this world? All I want is so much of it."
Yeah.
And then they gave us 4 movies of it, and it's great. And they just kept properly
You gotta-
building it, and it's fun.
Insert the coin into the slot to get into the cool club
Yeah,
with all the
it's
other
great.
killers.
And then they're like, "Hey, let's do spin-offs and TV shows, and then let's do ballerina." And it's like, what are we doing? This is enough.
I like the idea that they all use gold as a currency.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
for
great.
Assassin's Coin. They're like pirates.
Yes, that's what I thought of when I first saw it. Did I tell you about what happened with Ballerina? I thought I mentioned it one time.
Mm-mm.
So Ballerina, obviously, Ana de Armas, Chad Aronofsky. Is that his name? The director of this?
Chad's the. It is Chad. I don't know how to say his name. Stahelski.
Stahelski.
Sure.
Okay. Well, anyways, that director, he did 4, and he was like kind of ready to break away because he didn't want to keep like going with the world. He's like, I think I've reached my limit with it.
Oh man.
So he's like, I'm gonna step away. Well, obviously, whoever owns it, made another movie in that world, and they screened the movie for him because he's like, I'm not gonna do it. And he said, "This is so bad. I will come back to do
Now
this
I
movie."
have to do it.
He came back and like he got rid of like 80% like
Oh man.
of the footage, I think, and he did like reshoots and like apparently fixed it. He's like,
Nice.
it was so bad with what they screened. He came back and either did 80% reshoots or got rid of 80% of it. And he like came like, this is bad enough where he's like, I'm not letting you do this to my world.
It's
Yeah.
like John Wick, Friendship is Magic.
I don't know what they did, which has me worried that it's not gonna be good. But
You know what's really cool? How every time they show a trailer for it, it just shows John Wick in it, and I'm like, wow. Couldn't just save that for the movie? That'd been fun if John Wick just popped up and I didn't know he was going to pop up.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
pisses me
it's
off.
like, we got to make sure you know this is the same world to bring him in because we know how John Wick 4 ended.
Well, that's what they did with when they announced Cyberpunk was
Mhm.
released. Nobody knew that
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves was going to be in it, and he comes out on stage. I was like, yeah,
Yeah, he's Johnny
Yeah.
Silverhand. And I love
Get
just
ready,
his little energy
guys.
because if you look at him, he's so awkward. And he's like, and here it is. And he looks so stiff. I was like, it's just so like, it just makes it feel like he's a real person.
Well,
did.
man, I love like those game like convention things. They're always so bad. It's
Yeah.
always terrible.
I still remember the first time I felt cringe from watching one of those, and it was the Ubisoft one. Mr. Caffeine came out. And
What?
do you remember what I'm talking about?
No, I don't remember that.
I think it was for Rayman or Just Dance, and this is how he's like, and we're going in this movie. Let's get it up there. And he'd go, and I'm like,
So
what
bad.
is happening?
Why are
right
you doing
now?
the Wayne's World thing?
It was bad.
I remember like all the Connect stuff, them coming out and doing it, and like them trying to do it, and it's like I don't
And
think
it wasn't even working.
you're not
for them.
playing the game. This
Yeah,
is
it was obviously a pre.
this is pre-taped. This is terrible.
The
Those are so
Kinect
bad.
sucks so bad.
So let's hop into some facts. So according to director's interview, Chad Stahelski and David Leitch, which by the way, this was directed by both of them, but because the Directors Guild of America won't allow 2 directors to be a part of it for some fucking reason. David just got put as a producer and Chad got put as the director, even though they both produced and both directed. So they reused quite a few of the stuntmen several times throughout the film. In order to make them look like different people, they would change their hair. So scenes of the guards and henchmen with long hair and beards were shot first, and the scenes with the bald men were most likely shot last because they were running out of budget. So great though.
That's
And I
funny.
tried to watch it and I was like, they did a pretty good job.
Do you have the
hiding.
fact about Selma Hayek?
No.
I think it's Selma Hayek. I don't know exactly who it is. So it was I don't know if it was her, but it was
The sexiest Spaniard to ever walk.
God. It was some actress. I can't remember her name. I thought it was her for some reason. It was like, yeah, like she donated
Eva Longoria.
Was it Eva Longoria?
Yeah, it's Eva Longoria.
So you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. She was a producer on this thing, and the directors were like, we never met her once, but I thank her for our money.
Yeah, because like
Yay.
they what was it? They ran out of budget and they weren't gonna be able to finish the film without that last bit. She donated like $5 to $6 million to it
Nice.
because she believed in it.
I like to think that the reason that Avi, the right hand man of Vigo in this movie, he's the guy that does the
They
Mayhem
can't speak
commercials.
Russian.
Yeah, he does like the Allstate Mayhem commercials, and he's also the Vulture in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which we're watching.
Hell
and
yeah.
even Longoria is in the season that he's in, and I'm like, I wonder if she got him a role in this.
That's cool. But
I love that actor. He's so good in those commercials.
to think she's the reason we got John Wick pretty much because that's a lot of money to donate towards the end.
Yeah.
Isn't it nice to think that all Hollywood actors are friends?
Yeah.
Aren't they all friends, Diddy?
So the directors credit Keanu Reeves' dedication and talent with their ability to do long takes during the fights. Chad Stahelski, I can't
say
wait
Chad.
to not say his name anymore. He says, I think we really only cut for impact. We didn't really cut to get around moves. We didn't cut to speed things up. We wanted you to see what happens before, during, and after. You're not using long lenses to hide bad action, David said. So yeah, that's a part of why they're able to do it. Keanu Reeves was so good that they didn't have to cut a lot. But so the fact that they didn't have a huge budget, they didn't have a lot of cameras to film at once, and they just decided to use wide lenses so that they could film more of the action and not have to cut it up. And that's why the action's so great, and you see everything. Did I
So
just say
they
the same
didn't
thing
go all
twice?
Howard Hughes on it?
Yeah, they didn't Howard Hughes the shit out of it. So director, the director of this movie, Chad, he was a stunt double for Keanu Reeves through most of his career, and especially on The Matrix, and they became best friends through that. And that's why I got this movie.
Man, what if you had a best friend that was your double? You just make him do all the shit you
Yeah,
don't want to do.
It's like, should we kiss? I
Well,
don't know.
Did you see what happened with Daniel Radcliffe's double?
No.
Mhm.
In one of the Prisoner of Azkaban or something, he did a stunt and
Oh shit! Yeah.
and he broke his back.
Fuck.
And he's been paralyzed, but
That
Daniel
sucks.
Radcliffe has like stayed in his life with him
Aw.
because he like understood. Because I think they gotten close through the first 3 or 4 movies. I don't know which one it was, and they even had a
Oh.
book come out and I think a documentary on it to talk about.
Yeah, they did have a documentary.
And I'm sitting here. We got a documentary about stunts and the stunt people. We have the Fall Guy and we have John Wick. Because John Wick, I was like, it shows you what a director who's done stunts. Because to me, that was such a big deal. It's like it shows you that world and what they can bring into it with their experience, and still not having a stunt category at the Oscars.
Yeah,
is
they
ridiculous.
will now. This year they're bringing it.
Finally,
Really?
Yeah.
you know how
Nice.
mad that makes me? Because we've had John Wick and we had the Fall Guy. The Fall Guy should be the one to do it.
Yeah, they would have won every time. Except maybe like Top Gun Maverick may have gotten it just
Ooh.
because Tom Cruise drove plane.
Well, so do you think with that category, because I always wondered if they introduced the category, would that push directors to do more actual stunts to try and get that category? Is it going to bring in like maybe a new wave
Hell
of
yeah.
movies we're going to see a lot more actual stunts?
More stunts. More
Yeah,
stunts.
more stunts. Like, do you think it's going to
I'm gonna bust your bubble. It will not.
Oh.
I say in 5 years
Or
they get
just
rid of that
better
category.
stunts, maybe?
No, I mean I think that like the action movies will probably want to have better stunts. Yeah,
Like,
but
wanna see
I don't
someone-
think
I want to see someone thrown into a
Like-
jet engine and get mincemeat.
I don't think this is gonna make like Noah Baumbach like an indie director be like, I need more
No,
stunts.
not
in my
like that.
movie."
I just mean, do you think there's going to be like directors who are already doing action movies? It's like, let me put more towards, because it changes your mindset of like, well, let me look into this because it could be a category I win. Because when you have a category for stunts, what makes stunts great is the live action part of it.
Yeah,
And when you get more physical with it, because sometimes it could lead people down to like, well, let me start studying more about what we could do. I feel like it could lead to, depending on who you are, about I have learned what I wanted, and I think it would be great because anytime you talk about people who have like great action movies, is people who can either do their own stunts or they film the stunts well,
yeah,
and the action is better. And that's when people are like, the movie's great because you see real action happening. I feel like we can maybe go that way, but with AI also, we could just go fucking nowhere.
yeah. It's weird. I don't know how they're gonna do the category because it's gonna be like, is it just gonna be like who did stunts better, who has most stunts?
Who got the most hurt?
Yeah, and it's just like, are we gonna consider like pyrotechnics a part of stunts? Like, because
Fucking better.
Well, that would be
Michael,
physical.
Michael Bay has like, I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of stunts in his things, but I'm always like, he's more explosions, not more stunts. But there are people obviously doing stunts, but you don't know him
see
as,
them though. You see the explosion and more of the person. I like with Fall Guy, it shows you all the stunts they do. I think, at least I guess that's more my view, is when you actually see someone physically in the car and you have the camera there and they do a roll and explosions go around.
Yeah.
You're more focused on the person. It feels like you're in it.
Well, I'm just like, will they consider like something like Creed to be a stunt heavy movie? I mean, it's more of a choreographed fight, but I mean, stunts are just choreographed falls,
sure.
right? So I'm like, would they consider a movie like Creed, which I was like, that's one of my favorite action movies, even though it's just boxing. I guess it's more of a sport movie, not an action movie. But I'm like, that's a really hard stunt to film around. You got like 12 rounds of fighting. You kind of have to choreograph and stunt out, right? So it's like, are they gonna like? Is that going to be a part of it? I don't know. I can't wait. I'm so excited for the Oscars.
I think it could just only make things better.
Yeah,
hopefully, as long as they like do it right.
What do we do when there's like a very low stunt heavy like year? Because I'm like, right now, what movies were the stunts?
I guess Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. That's it so far.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping this could maybe push them to. Because it's always the movies that also come out, like when you get a director like Guillermo del Toro, and like I loved his movie because there's practical effects everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, could we maybe inspire? Like, because there's always there's a different flow in the way movies go. Like action movies were the peak, went down, and then CGI started taking over.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on what waves we have in Hollywood. It just, of course, with everything going, I feel like AI is just going to ruin it. But I'm hoping we get like a wave of more practical stunts and seeing more of like people learning to do better, cooler stunts. And like people like to see the action. Like people got inspired from Jason Bourne action to do all that shaky cam stuff. I was like, maybe they can take some inspiration and do longer choreographed fights and more just bigger, longer stunts. Like Fall Guy, I thought was the greatest example of seeing, because like, it's not Ryan Gosling, but you're understanding because it's putting you in the mindset of seeing a stunt person and more and open that world.
Yeah. Well, the Fall Guy had to be good with stunts because it's a movie about stuntmen.
But they did such a good job. It opens your mind to it and you're just like, eye-opening. I was like, someone who's like, I'm gonna direct this movie. Let me watch Fall Guy and they can get inspired from it. It's like, I want to be on this level of recording these live action stunts. I want to get good choreography. That's gonna be the main sell of this movie.
What if it becomes so saturated that it just all reverts back to slipping on banana peels?
Hell yeah.
Hey, we can go back to Charlie Chaplin levels and stuff. Like you see all those stunts they did.
I like this. I like where this is going.
I mean, shit, like that's what Pixar does in all their movies. They go back to like those Charlie Chaplin
every
stuff.
time they get me.
Cool. So, according to the director's commentary, when they shot the top-level nightclub fight sequence, Keanu Reeves had the flu and was running 104 fever.
Fuck yeah, man.
You couldn't even get him to sit down, Chad said. He just did take after take.
It was delirious. Someone should have stepped in.
Yeah.
Is that why his hair is like all greased back because he's sweating?
Probably.
Yeah, he's on the verge of death.
Yeah. And then he's like, all right, we're going to throw you off this second story building. He's like, cool, make it be my last stunt and actually kill me.
Some chicken soup waiting for me.
Make sure I have a coma for it so I can get over this fever.
It's so funny because I think that's why I like these so much is just seeing Keanu, like, because I watched a lot of behind the scenes. And him doing his training, like the martial arts training, like you could see he's literally exhausted, sweating. And he gets back and he's like, okay, let's go again. And seeing that like push, and I think it's just from like working out. Because like saying the sick thing makes me think about one day I was sick after work from GLC. And I was like, God, I think I had school after, or maybe it was just the gym. I was like, I really don't want to go to the gym because I was sick. And I still went to the gym and I had pushed harder and was able to lift heavier than I was. And I was giving crap to my buddy about it, but I get that. Like, even though you're sick, you can still push if you want to, even though you're that sick. And I'm like, I get it. Like, you shouldn't do it, but
yeah, that's how the plague is spread.
Me with a fever, like I can't even change.
That's why the Black Plague spread so rapidly.
I can't even.
Everyone was working out so hard.
Yeah.
Natalie, hand it here.
Yeah.
I gotta get my gains.
Yeah.
That was when I was younger, though. I don't know how he was doing that at his age and pushing it.
For real.
It's like 4 years ago.
No, it was like 7 or more because it's been a while. It was before I started class.
Okay.
So Keanu Reeves' preparation for the role included weapons and martial arts training, 8 hours a day for 4 months. And I guess it's kind of like Collateral that we talked about yesterday, where like people who are in the business of training, like cops and stuff, said his reloading is probably perfect reloading, and it's they've never seen someone outside of the business be able to reload like
Hey,
that.
why don't they train real cops like this?
Because it's 8 hours a day for 4 months.
Yeah, no, they don't do that.
Specifically gun training.
I feel like that's like one of the most important things you could train on as an
I don't
officer.
actually know how they train cops. Isn't it just like a week or a
like
month or
like
something?
3 months.
3 months.
It's all virtual reality.
Well, so like mentioning that, there was a scene I saw talking with Val Kilmer in Heat, and he said he's like, I felt very impressed. Like they were filming near Fort Bragg or somewhere, and a military guy told him, he's like, I show them that scene and I tell them 98% of y'all are not going to be able to shoot that good.
Yep.
And it's like
sounds familiar.
because of how good not shooting, but his reload, how quickly he does it in the scene is like spot on what he wants. And I was telling the guy who I work with about it and sent it to him. He's like, well, they do that for motivation. I was like, I know. It's because you're looking at someone, you're in the military. You should be able to reload that good. And it's also like, he's just acting and he did training just for fun. And that's how good he got. I expect you to be at that fucking level.
Well, what's familiar about it is the degradation.
Yes. Yes.
And they just expect you to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's to push you. But I also I got into like his, watching him shoot and just, I don't know what it is. I guess he just like, when he dedicates himself to it, you see it and I like it.
Well, also you have to remember the difference between Keanu Reeves learning this is he's getting paid a lot of money to learn this.
Yeah.
Versus when you go to like other things, you're like, you're not going to make that much money. And they're probably not really paying you that much as you're training. So it's just like, I don't know.
And you don't get as much training. You don't get 8 hours a day for 6 weeks. You get like once every couple of weeks, you get like a few hours.
Well, I mean, like,
and you're also learning like how to do paperwork and I'm sure all
kinds of
extra stuff.
Yeah.
I think it'd be more of like there's other actors who could do that, but they don't go as far as that because they could take that and like because there was like something I saw about that old Iron Fist show that was on Netflix.
Iron Fish?
Fist.
I know. I just want to say Iron Fish.
I like
what is
Iron
it?
Fist
What are you,
better.
gay fish?
The Iron Fist show was pretty fun, but only for the scenes where he punched the things.
Yeah.
Are y'all saying fist? All I'm hearing in my headphones is fish.
I like Iron Fist.
I don't know. Are you kind of fishy about it right now?
I fish.
But a stunt
You eat fish
coordinator
sticks?
came out and was talking about he didn't name names, but everyone complained that the Iron Fish guy did not the choreography wasn't good. Choreography. And a stunt performer director came out and said was like, yeah, like he didn't really show up on set a lot, but they still filmed. It showed the world that you don't have to do that much.
Yeah.
It's just like with working out. Like even though they do roids on the side to get that big, some people you could see who really put a lot of time into it for 8 hours versus someone's like, I went like two hours a day every day, which is still a lot.
Yeah.
But you see the difference of someone has had dedication. And that's what I like about Keanu. The martial arts, the shooting. It's dedication, and it seems like it pays off on the film.
Yeah.
He's a very dedicated actor.
And I love it. It makes me feel.
I do got to say, I didn't realize until I was watching this because I put down a note. It was like, John Wick films brings out my inner American fucking guns, baby. And then I was like, I did start buying my few guns I started buying at the time.
Yeah.
I remember was when John Wick 2 had came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just really into it.
Gotta have one.
John Wick 4, the fucking guns are amazing
I know.
in it. Okay. So this next fact, it's kind of like 3 facts all put together. So it might be a second for me to finish it all. So in the original script, the character of John Wick was written a man in his mid-60s to play the role. Given the title character's fabled reputation, ergo, the filmmakers had initially imagined an older actor. However, head of Thunder Road Pictures decided against this, stating, instead, we decided to look for someone who is not literally older, but who was a seasoned history in the film world. So the first version of the script was titled Scorn.
I remember that. Yeah.
And while similar, it was a lot different from the final film. For example, the character was older. He didn't have any dialogue for the first 25 pages. And his dog was originally 18 years old. As in the final film, the dog was the last gift from the dying wife after it was killed. Wick goes on a revenge rampage. The body count was much lower. Somewhere between 6 to 12 people died in the first draft.
Not enough.
How many died in this one? Because I got that fact.
74 people, something like that.
I got 77.
77, yeah. And so the movie was called Scorn. Keanu Reeves kept referring to it as John Wick. According to the writer, Derek, can't say that last name. Marketing was like, dude, 4 to 5 million in free advertising so far, so it's John Wick instead of Scorn.
Yeah.
Because he just kept saying John Wick instead of Scorn for
Sounds
his
better.
movie.
I mean, I like it.
The building for the Continental, the outside, it was the same one used in the stock exchange from Dark Knight Rises.
Okay, because
yeah,
I watched that not long ago, and I was like, that building looks very familiar.
Yeah. But the first few things about like the original script, that's some of my favorite facts about movies is when it's like you just hear about the first script and it's like they really didn't have this figured out. Though, there's a show on FX called The Old Man, and it's Jeff Bridges, and it's an action movie, and it's really a lot like this, actually. He's like a ex CIA agent or whatever, and he's like really good at fighting. Watch the first 3 episodes. It's fucking fantastic. I didn't continue watching.
I think me and her tried to watch it, but we got bored.
This old man just fucking
because he's so old. He's just more a lot of talking versus actually being able to do stuff.
That first episode, there's a lot of fighting.
But you talking though made me realize what a movie to go with this at the end. I got it and I wrote it down. So yeah, I'm just happy because it's like, oh, this is perfect. A follow up to watch.
So in an interview for Screen Junkies on February 16th, 2017, Chad and David mentioned how there was an alternate ending for the film, which had John simply shooting Vigo and killing him, but they decided to use the other version of the ending where the 2 men fight. There also was a different one. They were going to have a lot more of a fight, but then they were like, no, this guy should not be able to have any like ability against John Wick.
Yeah.
And even though parts
of the most feared man on the planet.
Even like the fight still doesn't work at the end for me. I'm just like,
yeah, like I literally was sitting here like waiting for it. And I'm like, after everything that happened, I was like, and I think that was the problem is like, well, we're going to film you, not put a stunt double in. And they're like, if we're going to do that, the fight's going to be a lot less. And it worked better because you can keep the actor on screen.
Let's grapple each other. All right. That's about all the facts I got. A few other things about this. This movie is slick as hell.
It is, especially Keanu's hair.
Everybody looks so good. The cinematography is so good. Like just the colors.
So dark.
And how dark it is. But like, it's just the houses, the buildings, that nightclub. Where the hell is this nightclub?
7 minutes in heaven.
3 different layers, and it's always like completely different vibe in all of it. I'm like, I want to go to a nightclub and hang out in a pool.
Yes.
Except I don't because it's probably disgusting.
Yeah, that's gross.
Well, I saw random fact. I saw a thing that says if you want to like one of the biggest things someone checked for like bacteria and say do not do is Vegas pools.
Oh wow!
And I was like, good
like
point.
Pissing in it.
Well, you gotta think about the people who are going to Vegas.
Not that creek that RFK Jr. swam in. Our health chief or whatever.
Who also said you shouldn't be taking health advice from me. Like I don't really know a lot about health.
Why am I here, everybody? What's the point?
John Wick's making us polycharged, baby. All right. So I think it's time to hop into the plot, baby. And remember,
pew pew. There you go.
We have our new category. It's called "What's the Point?" It's because I often find myself asking my wife, what's the point of this movie or this show that we just spent 10 hours watching?
Disclaimer, you do need to have a woman present.
She'll tell you everything. No, it's just a fun little thing.
I think about it every time. I was literally thinking that as I was watching, and that's when I try and analyze this. As I interrupt a lot, I sit there and think about this, how I saw it in that moment, and when I'm trying to actually think about what he's thinking about in the moment.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, it's always... Every time I watch a movie, especially when I go to theaters, I'm like, I can't talk about this movie. I have to think every single second about this movie for a while before having any opinions because I got to figure out what's the point of having this movie. Like when I watched Sinners, I was just like, because, we watched it together and then we drove back home. And I was just like, I don't want to say too much because I want to know the point of the movie.
Was it civil rights?
Not civil rights. It was.
I found it to be more about people stealing culture from people.
It was, and like also culture representation. Dude, you gotta when that comes out on Blu-ray, that's gotta be something you do soon because that movie is amazing.
I get chills like once a day because I keep thinking about it.
That movie, like it's one I was telling him, which I know I noticed after the movies you're doing that because I'll sit there and think too, and I'll sit here and as you notice me, it's like, man, that scene was so good because I'll sit here and like this scene too. I'm like. I just start playing it in my head like, God, it's so good because I'll analyze it later and be able to think on it.
Yeah.
And then it's one of those movies that I have put on, I will own that movie, and it's probably one of my top list movies.
Well, as soon as I get a the Blu-ray of it. We're doing it. So
fuck yeah.
I told you when I left the movie, Grubb already had it up for pre-order for a steel case, and I almost bought it. And I was like, gosh, maybe I should wait till it go on sale. And I still have debated about buying because I love that movie so much.
Sinners is going to be our first 4-person podcast probably because Devin wants to be on that one.
Ooh, good.
Cool. So yeah, I just love thinking about what's the point of this movie. So as we go through the plot, you at home, think about this movie and like, what's it trying to say? It could just be like action, cool, guns, cool, gun fu, great.
Yes.
Well, that like you're asking people. I feel like you're asking them to engage in what they have because it's always you're seeing someone's opinion on what they see.
Yeah.
Because like how my girlfriend's view is, we always say it's very different, especially when we watch horror movies. We just watched some show show called Sirens on Netflix, and her interpretation that she saw it for Kevin Bacon's character and the title of it, and I was like, oh, that's a very good view. I see your point of view. I thought it was really good because she's like, I also looked it up. Nobody's agreeing with me. And I was like, I don't know. I think your view works way better and it makes more sense.
Yeah, other people's opinions don't matter.
We're America, remember?
It's fun to talk about it, but only my opinion matters. Dang it. And that's what me and Jason have figured out. His opinion, bad. My opinion, good.
Yes.
This podcast.
Obviously.
I'm beating Jason.
It's only just because of Point Break. That's where it all started.
Point Break, Blowout, Collateral. You know.
Oh, no, Blowout, I agree.
I'll hit everyone in this room and run away.
No, Blowout I love.
Oh, y'all got you.
I don't know what I haven't got to listen to the Collateral episode.
It comes out this Monday.
Okay.
We're filming these back-to-back days. Okay, let's go, baby. All right, John Wick 2014. Your mind's about to be blasted out of your back of your skull. So, the film starts with John Wick looking like he's dying. He sits and watches a video of his wife. I put in quotations, shit, I wonder what happened. I bet we won't find out. In New York City, John Wick is grieving the death of his wife, Helen. We learned she died through these little flashes of scenes quickly. And we see him kind of falling in love. And now she's dead. And then you got the beep, beep as he's going to see her on her deathbed. Oh man, I love a good beep, beep, beep.
Flatline.
A good death note.
Every time.
Could you imagine going into this, not telling someone, and then you bring them in, and they're like, am I watching another Keanu Reeves rom-com?
It's like, wait, is this a sad boy Keanu Reeves movie? Or is this like... and it really is making you think it's going to be a sad boy Keanu Reeves movie the entire time. We see him go to her funeral, and somebody's watching him, and then Marcus comes up. Played by William Dafoe.
I forgot how much he was in this.
Oh, he's such a scary looking guy.
He is so scary.
He ominously says he is checking up on an old friend. Wick doesn't understand why it had to be her who died. It's like, why did it have to be her? It's always great in these action movies. Like, I was the bad one. I've killed people. Why did she have to be the one that died? It's like, this world's so unfair, and I think she should come back. We learned that Helen had arranged for him to receive a beagle puppy to help cope with his loss. Keanu Reeves is really great during the letter reading when he gets it. Also, this woman's obsessed with daisies.
So so she set it up for on her death that he would be delivered a puppy?
Yeah.
I think it's because she knew she was dying and she
I think it was cancer.
So this wasn't like a...
Yeah, it was like a slow, she's like, I'm going to die and I need to set this up for him.
Yeah.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah, it's like, I get it.
But the dog also has cancer.
One thing I'd like
here's this dog with parvo.
Enjoy it.
Can I say, of all the John Wick series, you still never see their because usually they'll try and delve into why he loved her so much and bring her story in.
She doesn't come back to life?
No. We just don't see any flashbacks either. It's just it's the video, and we're just left to interpret it the whole time about what the relationship is. So that allows you to put in how you feel about your relationship and I understand.
Yeah.
Versus someone let's show it, and this is how we saw it.
Yeah.
Love the open interpretation. Just with horror.
She loved it when I killed people.
Yeah. Well, I think
was my biggest fan.
You don't really need a flashback to them being in love and stuff because you get it. He kills a bunch of people. It's I think he definitely loved her.
Yeah, I think he's coming back.
I have a very serious face on.
The Bride of Frankenwick.
Yeah. And just again, this puppy is so fucking cute.
It is so cute.
It's got the biggest little ears. It's so tiny and lanky. It's so cute.
He's like, sleep on the floor for one night. Yeah. And then you're mine.
I knew that because, dude, I tell you, Broly. His fucking ears. I'm like, I feel so much more now.
And then so we see John and the dog interact. John tries to get the dog to sleep on the floor, and then Daisy wakes him up. It's so fucking cute.
That's every morning, dude.
And
after
then,
she feeds Broly.
Yeah.
After he licks his ass real good.
Yeah.
I don't let dogs lick my face. It's gross, and I never.
I let him lick my ass first.
Let me get the peanut butter out.
Your dog eats poop. I understand why you don't.
Yeah. Then John wakes up the next morning. We see the dog running around the counter. It's all fucking go.
He gives him a bowl of cereal.
Then John feeds the fucking dog cereal.
Yeah,
hey,
I mean,
Helen, maybe get some dog food for the dog too.
Yeah, you
Have
didn't think about that one, did you?
You dead ass bitch.
Well, I ain't got.
Sorry. Sorry to all the dead people out there.
There's a Ouija board in here right now. It'd be sliding around.
F you. Huh, I wonder what that means.
You get two responses. One's ha ha ha, someone has a sense of humor. The other one, I want to speak to the manager.
my magic 8-ball just said, please take me back.
So then John goes out and the dog sneaks in the car with him. Fuck, it's so cute.
Was it came already potty trained and everything?
Yeah,
she almost thought of everything.
Well, my dog, like Snake, like as soon as we got him, like he never went in the house. He just immediately always knew to go outside. And we got him as a puppy. It was
what's
great.
It like to have a smart dog?
Well, when you
have you seen my dog?
He's
not that smart.
Well, I had the same thing with Zelda when I used to live at home. It's because I could just take her out as often as she wanted to. Now with
did you name her after the old woman from Pet Cemetery?
Zelda? No, I did not.
I wonder this guy who has a bunch of tattoos of characters on him. I wonder who he named it after.
Just for clarity, I don't really play. I've never played those games really. I just wanted a nerdy name, and I tried Umbreon at first, but the girl I was dating, she's like, I don't like that one, and I just was naming names off, and they went with Zelda. So
nice.
That's why.
Nice.
Wow.
I mean, Broly's name
I fucking hate
for the new puppy we got is from Dragon Ball Z.
I hate posers, dude. Don't you, Jason? Well, while gassing up his car, a group of Russian gangsters led by Yosef Tarzov, Alfie Allen, a.k.a. Theon Greyjoy. I wonder if he still has his...
my penis off.
I wonder if he still has it. So they kind of... I mean, he was pretty... Is he one of those people who's like very...
into the role? Like
I
dedicated.
he has one of those faces where you just want to see it explode.
Yeah.
I think...
He's got like a really like... It's like, it reminds me of people that like, you know, like grew up, was pretty popular in high school, got out of high school, started doing drugs, and it's like, man,
became a police officer.
Yeah. But so they accost John and failed to intimidate him into selling his 1969 Boss 429 Mustang.
Badass car.
Yeah, right.
I prefer the other car he gets afterwards.
I will say
Camaro.
I will Mustang boy. I do
like classic.
I hate that in this movie. One of my biggest issues with it, he doesn't get his car back.
Yeah, that does suck.
And it's just like he gets a random dog, but it's like, you gotta at least get your car back, bro.
That's why you gotta come back for the sequel.
My least favorite car he gets is when the Continental gives him a car.
Oh, the Charger?
Don't give me this new shit.
I really wanted him to drive the bat car. You know, the car with the bat in the window?
Yeah. John goes to an airport to drive his car, throwing the dog all over the place in his car.
The dog's not in the car at that point.
Was he not? He went immediately.
No, he was definitely in there. How else is he going to learn?
He went from the gas station to the airport.
Well, if you look, they're supposed to be in now. I was like, is the dog still in there? But the back seat doesn't have the toys in there anymore.
He was plastered through the window like Garfield.
I feel like it's funnier if the dog's in it.
I love that a Garfield reference from the live action one just got a mention with Bill Murray as the voice. I don't know why that cracks me up.
It's great casting. It's perfect casting.
It's perfect.
And I feel like the whole point of this is that this gives him the adrenaline that he misses from being hit.
Anger driving.
Well, I don't think it's adrenaline he's seeking. He's just like angry that, because again, this is more that interpretation of what you think. The way I see it, he's not someone who wants adrenaline. He's someone who he's like, do I want to die too? But I can't, because it's like, I think he wanted to die, but he's like, I can't take my own.
Yeah, because he gets really close to driving into the trucks. But also, personally, I think it's adrenaline, and I think
I do too. Because a lot of people who, like in the military, they are adrenaline seeking, and they continue doing those adrenaline seeking activities after this trauma.
Yeah.
I just think he also was like how much of an anchor to that world he was. He's like, well, now I got out of the world for her. Do I go back? I don't want to go back.
But I want to go fast.
I want to go fast.
And then Dom, you got pretty good skills there. You needing a family, I can tell.
It's like, I see that you're living about about a tenth of a mile at a time, and I live a quarter mile at a time. You gotta up those numbers, brother.
Wolf of Wall Street coming in here.
So that night, the Russians break into John's home, assault him, and
they pet his dog.
They fucking
real hard.
They fucking hit that dog in the head. And I'm filled with vengeance.
She was leaving to go get coffee for us, and I was holding on to Broly, and she's like, "Go to Dad, Broly," because he's about to cry, and I was already tearing up. I was like, "Shut up, no, Dad!"
And then
he twisted his head off.
I didn't say the worst part. And then they steal his car. Do anything but steal the car.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah. God. But I mean, this is like whenever I drive on the road and someone does something dumb and anybody's like, flick them off, and I'm like, we don't know what they do for a living.
You.
Oh, you don't like following him home?
It could be a John Wick situation.
I had to explain that to her. She's like getting angry at them. I said, "Don't do that." She's like, "Why?" I said, "That's a dude." She's like, "I don't care. I'll fight him." I was like, "The thing is,
there's a movie called Unhinged."
Is that the with Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe.
See, you about did it. You about did it.
Yeah, because I looked at you. Russell Crowe.
And she was like, "Well, yeah, I'll fight him. I don't care." I said, "That's a man in there. The thing is, I'm with you. You're not going to fight him. I'm going to have to fight them."
And I'm not thinking I'm back yet.
It's like, you know my knees.
Yeah. Crazy legs coming at
There's potential that I step out of the car and fall.
I was like, I'm a weak boy. I've never been in a fight in my life. Either I'll get my ass kicked or I'll end up killing them. I don't know which side it'll be.
Yeah. So John Wick wakes up and buries his fucking cute-ass goddamn dog, and I'm ready to kill.
Think about that scene. He buries his dog, then he unburies his old life because he breaks that cement. And he just thought about that.
Yeah.
Only 20% of people bury their dogs in the backyard. I tried to do it to our last dog that died, and everyone hated it.
Yeah.
Why?
So we didn't, because I thought that's what you did.
You had to bury him pretty far, too.
You got to go, pretty.
I went like a foot deep.
Oh, well, that's terrible.
That's awful.
Yeah, we didn't do it.
It's going to smell in your backyard.
We didn't do it.
And animals are going to dig it up. And it's going to be fun for your kids.
We didn't do it.
So Yosef takes the Mustang to a chop shop to remove its identifying details. But the shop owner, Aurelio, love John Wick. He's the best. Recognizes it and refuses service, punches the shit out of Yosef and tells them to kill him or get out.
Yeah.
I love it because they're pulling a gun out and he's like, come on, do it. It's the best in action movies when people do it. Oh yeah, I'm ready to die. Do it, baby.
I thought it was over the top, but like as you could sit here and think, I could see him being like, if something happens, is like, if John gets mad at me, I'm gonna die anyway. So
he's way worse than you.
Yeah, like either fucking do it or just get out because I don't know who it's gonna be. I'm gonna die either way if John gets pissed.
Yeah. So Aurelio informs John that Yosef is the son of Vigo Tarasov, the boss of New York City's Russia Mafia. Let's see what it is.
I love him. Yeah. He's so good.
He's great. He really is. He's great as a villain you don't want to die.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, I'm sure he does a lot of shitty things, but the whole time I'm like, man, the guy seems down to play ball. He just doesn't want his son to die.
Which is understandable.
He really wishes his son didn't do this, and he doesn't hate John Wick. He's just like, I'm a bad guy. I have to do my bad guy stuff.
You've unleashed the force of nature.
Well, he beat the crap out of him, which I was like, he's like, you understand.
He punches him in the stomach and stuff.
And I felt that. I thought that was real because like punching someone. Either it's on the actor who did it, like Theon, whatever his name is.
Alfie.
Alphon?
Something like that. Yeah.
Him, like, I don't know if they told him that, like leaning into it, throwing up after just chugged alcohol. Awesome. I was like, that's real because when you just get sucker punched really quick like that.
Your dad, especially.
Got the old man strength and you're not anticipating it.
Yeah. You got Avi watching. So upon learning of his son's actions from Aurelio, Vigo berates and punches. Oh, fuck. I forgot. I love it. Because Vigo calls Aurelio and he's like, why did you punch my son? He stole John Wick's car and killed his dog. And he just goes, oh, hangs up the phone.
Yeah, this is great.
It's just like,
that world.
I thought I was going to kill you, Aurelio, but now I think you did the right
character.
thing.
Yes, that's exactly what I said. I was like,
it's just like, just fucking stuntmen. Or I guess it wasn't a stuntman that wrote it, but just like whoever wrote it was just like, I know movies.
Oh, it's building it in as he is like, he's the boogeyman. Because you
don't
know.
Signed his death certificate.
Yeah. So, upon learning of the actions of his son, Vigo berates and punches Yosef for incurring John's wrath. He reveals John was once a hitman and his employee and was renowned and feared in the criminal underworld as the Baba Yaga. A ruthless, relentless man of focus, commitment, and sure will. He's the man you send to kill the fucking boogeyman.
I love it.
He's not the boogeyman. And he killed 3 men with a pencil.
Yes.
Yeah.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
The pencil's just like a knife, but just wood.
But the thing is like, you think about it, like you can, obviously, because it's...
Yeah, it's just going to go... you could easily stab people in a jugular.
Well, it's one of those things of like, you use a pencil, well, not anymore, but you use a pencil all the time. You never think of like, I could kill someone, but you don't. It's an everyday thing you use.
Yeah, I thought about it every time I used the pencil in school.
It was like that one time I
could stab this into someone's eye.
Hey, Jason, I think you need to go home.
No,
I actually.
Why are you holding 3 pencils right now?
He's Wolverine.
If they would have shown this pencil kill, would you think it would have been better than the Joker pencil kill?
Oh, it happens in the second one. It happened. I think it's the second one.
Really?
He
brings it back.
Either the second or the third
number 2?
one.
The
third
third
number 2 pencil.
The third one's all the knife shit.
Well, there's a scene where he kills someone with a pencil, and I think it was the third one.
I just want to say, like, I think probably my favorite like action sequence in all the movies is the beginning of John Wick 3 with the knives and the horse shit.
Oh, that was so good. It was so.
With those horses in it?
Yes, he uses a horse to fight with.
Yeah,
it is.
Horse doesn't die.
Oh,
yeah, I'm sorry, buddy.
What the fuck's wrong with y'all,
dude? He has a thing with horses, man. He brings it up constantly if horses are brought up. He wants to see them die.
You know, actually,
I just like seeing a good horse death. Okay,
yeah, and I've owned 4 horses.
It's like you like watching car crashes. Same thing.
I've cried when horses have died. He laughs when horses die.
You do the same thing when dogs die, or children die.
Oh, dude. we were watching an episode of Poker Face. Is like the newest one, and it starts off with kids, right? And I'm like, holy shit! Are we about to investigate a kid killing another kid? I'm not gonna spoil it for you. It was a little disappointing.
That's the next one we need to watch.
Okay, so we got to keep going. So after John fell in love with Helen, a civilian, Vigo, gave him a seemingly impossible task to earn his freedom, and he succeeded. And what I love is like while all this is happening, right? You got John Wick. He's going into his basement. He's like hitting the concrete. The music's kind of like swelling a little bit, but also just the sound of the
cement and hammer,
sledgehammer hitting this cement. It kind of reminds me of like Iron Man, right?
Yes.
The music's swelling. He's hitting the like dink, dink,
building
except
suit.
It sounds cooler than dink.
Badass.
But yeah, we see him. John recovers a concealed stash from his former career that includes weapons and gold coins.
Like Chuck E. Cheese coins.
Yeah. Vigo calls John. He rejects Vigo's attempt to make amends and kills the hit squad, subsequently sent to his home. So, because, he like calls and he's like, maybe we don't do it. And he's like, just hangs up essentially.
Doesn't say shit.
And then like immediately they tell Mayhem to like send in your squad. It's like, how many? Everybody.
How many you got?
And then like, this is probably... It's really tough because I love this fight scene. And I remember being in theater. I watched this alone in the theater. There's like one other person. And
you can't masturbate with someone sitting next
to you. I know, it sucks. I'm like...
We do it all the time.
But then I looked over and he was masturbating. I said, do you want to like sit next to each other? But yeah, just because he comes in and we still don't know like what he's capable of, right? And then it's dark and we see people coming in. We see the footsteps of the people walking up the gravel, and we know that he knows that they're coming. And then he comes in and just immediately like pop pop, and it's like, oh shit, he's good at this.
Yes.
And then you're like, what type of is this? Just going to be a shooting thing, like some combat? And you're like, he's fighting with the guns, hand-to-hand combat, close up. And it's like, so this is what good action is, right?
Yeah. He does like the no-look shoot through, like when the guy pops around the wall. Holy fuck.
And I think probably my favorite part of this whole action scene, and why I think it might be my favorite of the movie, is the knife scene.
Oh, yeah.
When he gets close to close and the guy and they're struggling.
Yes.
And I'm just like,
a slow knife
I specifically remember sitting in my chair in the theater and just like, I'm like, ow. I'm squeezing the chair so hard that I was like, I'm in. This movie fucking goes. We're 20 minutes in and I'm like, best movie ever.
Well, I think that's why I love John Wick. It set a new standard for me. It's like, this is, like you said,
But
good action.
It's just like, because they're fighting and it's close, and then like the knife's going towards John, the knife's going towards the bad guy, knife's going towards John. I'm like, who is he gonna stab?
Well, also like,
and then like they fall to the ground, and then he gets on top of them, and I'm just like, oh, he's gonna push it in. No, he's like hammering the nail in. I'm like, it's like he hammered the concrete.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it.
Fun. The scene starts with hammering concrete, and then he hammers a knife into a fucking guy.
Put the nail in the coffin that he's now back.
God, the most grueling. I remember like with Saving Private Ryan, like slow knife death.
I think in the entire world, if you bring up a knife death scene in just to anybody, people are gonna be like, "Did you see Saving Private Ryan?" It's the most iconic knife scene.
The slow piercing.
That and Crocodile Dundee, the second most famous knife scene. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Okay.
Come on, it's the only other thing
that
people
sequel
will bring
that was
up.
like, what, 10 years later?
Yeah. It's like, wow, this guy aged a lot. So good. But then the doorbell rings, and it's like, and we see the flashing lights in his house. So fucking beautiful.
Oh, you're like, John Wick is
And
screwed.
then fucking Jimmy comes up, and he's like, hey, John, working again?
He killed a bunch of people?
No, I'm just sorting some stuff out.
I love it. It's just so like,
that's the point where you realize that even the cops are on his side. And you're like, nobody can stop this.
It shows
man.
this like network that they have established for this.
Well, for me, I'm still to the point where it's like, shit, did cops try to come and stop him, and he killed every cop in town? And they're like, Jimmy's like, I got you back, bud.
It's more of that world. I see it as like, this syndicate has built a world, because you're going to need cops when you're doing this.
We just haven't quite we haven't got there yet. So we don't know anything. It's just like, it's our first hint, but at the same time, it's like, maybe cops are just scared of the guy. Maybe
it's just more of adding like, who is this guy?
Yeah, and then I'm getting fucking fired up, because then he makes a phone call after the dope as hell fight. Wick calls for a dinner reservation for 12 and grabs some gold coins, and it's just like, what are we talking about? And then this dope ass guy with his little hat comes in, and a group of people come and clean, and he pays them in gold to clean up. 12 of them, one for every person they clean up. I love the gold. It's just like, one coin just means a favor, essentially. I feel like every time you give a gold coin, it's like someone's just like, all right, that works. It's a favor.
Hell yeah.
It's like, I feel like the gold means nothing. It's just a symbol. It's not actually money, even though I know they melt it down and probably pay for stuff.
Well, you do know that's...
It also gets you into places that you can't get into without them.
Yeah, and I do know that they explain it more in the other ones, but it's just like, when you're watching it now, you're like, oh, so gold coin's like a type of payment or some sort of
they establish their own currency, which is cool when you do that. It's like, that's
cool.
It's pirates.
It almost just seems like, here's a symbol of you doing a favor for me or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's great. Vigo puts a $2 million bounty on John and enlists John's former mentor, Marcus, to kill him. And Marcus agrees. And we're like, no.
William Dafoe.
Why William Dafoe? You're our favorite actors. And he sends his son to a nightclub called the Red Circle to lure John there. John lodges at the Continental, a luxurious hotel that serves as neutral ground for the underworld and where conducting criminal business is bidden. Lance Riddick, baby. R.I.P. Miss ya. Been watching you since like Fringe. Even though I know he's in The Wire, which was before Fringe.
I kind of didn't realize
yet.
He was
Wire's
also
good.
I need to watch that too. He's the voice in Destiny, which I got into for a while.
Yeah.
He was Zavala.
Oh, hell yeah.
But he's got like the best voice.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
He's so fucking fantastic in these movies. Just love this hotel. It looks so cozy.
I think
it
it looks better. I didn't realize. It's like, oh, it's not as like, because to me, in the next one, I don't know if they change it a little bit or maybe explore it. I feel like they get more of that. I don't know how to describe the world of like John Wick's, this underground, like refined classic, like it's modern classic. I don't know how it is. It's
a hotel Frank Sinatra.
It just feels like it's its own theme and style, and I feel like they really leaned into it more, and it works a lot better. Because when I was watching, it doesn't look as good as it did in the other movies, because it feels like it's its own unique design.
It just feels like it's like a 1950s like hotel, but with a little bit of skis
But
to
for
it.
crime.
I guess it's like classic architecture, but still there and modernized, but not to like.
It's flashy.
Yeah, it's a modern thing. If we still had like that good architecture that we used to do, and taking it and putting modern twist on it, like modern architecture with classic.
And I wish I could just put like a coin down and be like, all right, I'm staying for a couple of days at this hotel. And it's like, here's a quarter. I'll be here for a couple of days.
Sir, get out
also,
of it.
do you have a doctor on board? So we meet Winston. Love Winston. Love this guy. The hotel's owner and John's old friend. He asks if John's back. First time someone saying, hey, John.
I'm back.
Or the second time if John's back. Winston tells him just dipping a toe back into the business will pull him back in. I think we're getting close to the point of the movie here, guys. So John and a bartender talk. Obviously, they used to bone. I feel like
she's like, hey, I heard you're single.
Yeah.
It was only a few days ago.
It's like, hey, I heard your wife was weak and couldn't handle cancer.
Yeah.
You know,
I got tattoos. Did she have tattoos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't die from cancer.
Yeah. But yeah, and then she says, first, John Wick asks Winston for the location to where Yosef is. And he's like, I can't conduct business on this ground. And then he goes, talks to this lady, and she says he looks vulnerable for the first time. He's never seen him have that look. And he then is handed a napkin with his drink that says the red circle. Now it says kiss on it. Ooh.
That's how I leave napkins for Jesse too.
And off he goes to the red circle. So
skipping.
John, he locks and fucking loads, baby. Here's the thing. The only thing that this movie needs is all the lock and load things in the other John Wicks. They're so sick. Like in the second one where he goes into like, it's almost like a tailor.
Oh yeah, that's where he gets the bulletproof suit thing.
And then they also give him all these guns, and it's like, what else would you be needing? And he's like, oh, I think I need like a wristwatch. And then he pulls out this giant ass shotgun or something.
Yeah, they always have different terms for it.
Yeah, and it's so fantastic.
I think John Wick 2 is when he started, because his trainer started becoming Terran Tactical.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I want to get a gun.
It's because before he goes to that rave, he like goes in and gets all these guns, and it's great.
Well, like he gets I'll just say like, because I was getting into guns, and like he started using this like themed gun, and I think it was in the second or third one, and I was like following it. I was like, oh, I really want that pistol because I love the look of it. It was great. And then I looked it up, and it was a competition gun.
Oh,
and those competition guns were like $2,500.
Nice.
I was like, okay, well, that's not mine. Let me look at the airsoft version of it.
I think it's weird that like, you know, like you keep saying that you're into guns, but you've brought them all here with you. It's so weird.
Like the little 22s right
I thought
now.
it was
They're
a
not
little
like
much
they were.
when you brought it like a giant shotgun that shoots flaming bullets to a
Dragon's
podcast.
Breath?
But that's weird.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Dude, you got to watch John Wick 4, bro.
You got to watch all the other ones. They're so good. They are good.
Yeah. So we see Yosef having a grand old time at the Red Circle. just swimming around, drinking champagne with girls. The lighting looks fantastic. I love it.
Best day of his life.
Everything is like, it just feels real.
Yeah. And then John, he goes to the Red Circle, and Kevin Nash tells him there are 60 bodyguards inside. The way he does it is because he puts a gun to his head. And the only reason he doesn't kill him, I feel like, is because Kevin was like, Kevin Nash, he's great. Used to be a wrestler, NWO, baby. Let's go. Dude, sweet. Okay, I'll stop. Because he asks, like, you've lost weight, 60 pounds.
Nice.
Like, that was him telling him, was like, hey, I told you how many are in here. Can I go?
Is
bro?
that what that was?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
know
60
that. 60 bodyguards.
I thought he was just like, oh, I didn't know that was like a little weird. I thought it was just like a banter that knew each other.
No.
But can I also say the way they do the captions for the language and they put emphasis on certain words?
I did mean to bring it up because
it's so good.
Like when they put boogeyman, it's like a special caption.
And certain words that have more emphasis, like I was like, this is the best way to do foreign captions and add, like, make you feel more of the impact of what it does.
I feel like
best way I've ever seen it done.
They got that from Quentin Tarantino. Tarantino's done that in some of his films before.
Huh.
So John infiltrates Red Circle, gets info for Yosef's location from one of his friends, and then kills him. It's time to let the fun begin, as Obi-Wan says.
This is one of the best action sequences ever.
Yeah, it's great. And it's just like, even that first death, I was like, oh shit, I forgot how brutal it was.
Yeah, because he's
slamming his head and stuff on the counter. And I'm like, damn, I hope I never get my head slammed onto a counter.
Me too.
So at first he sneaks around silently killing bodyguards. Then his cover is blown and he is face to face with Yosef, but he is able to escape further into club. All the nightclub action rules. It's so good. And I love that he's like running around killing people in the nightclub, and people are just like,
like,
well, you know how loud it is, and like,
wow, did that guy just get his neck broken? Cool.
Well, there's another nightclub scene in There's one in the second one, but it's not as bad. And then there's one in the fourth one.
The fourth one.
It's so fucking good. It's so.
Is it like the scene from Kingsman in the church?
No, nothing is good. That was a really good. That is like another top tier of Kingsman. Like,
Hell yeah.
That was my favorite scene just because of how good the choreographed action was.
Yeah.
And also just
the camera work, the camera flying around was pretty crazy. Yeah, I remember when I was watching, I was like, this is a fun movie. And then that scene happens, and I'm like,
this is what we're fucking doing.
Yeah.
why don't we fight in churches more?
I just didn't expect it because like
and then they release snakes.
Voldemort's nearby.
Yes. Parcel thought.
I don't know. So John's making his way through the club, fighting, shooting people in the chest and then in the head, getting really close, punching people, and then all of a sudden just like, it's like I love when he's like close up fighting, and then like he like catches their arm, and then he just like somehow like moves his arm like right under their head and like shoots them. And I'm like, who the fuck thinks of this, man?
Well, I think when you're wrestling,
people
you
are
do
so
those
talented.
And because that's the thing of it, I don't remember exactly what his specific style of martial arts he was taking, but it's about grappling. And when you grapple up top and your hands are like locking, you can learn to make that where that's why it's called Kung Fu. Another thing I really like about when you watch John Wick is something that I don't know how true it is, but it makes sense, is the double tap or triple tap method. 2 in the chest, 1 in the head to take him out. Yeah, it's.
I thought he did it more in this movie, but they definitely do it more in Collateral than in John Wick.
Yeah,
they only show it more.
I think it's because he understands he's got to conserve a little more ammo, and but he always makes sure
he
that
goes
someone's
straight for headshots most of the time.
Well, he does a lot of body shots, but he like is so good. If you watch when he does it, you could see like Keanu. He sees the guy drop because he waits after the double shot. You see that delay instead of continuing it to try and hit it. He knows the drop happens because they're down on the ground, and he's like he has that extra moment to shoot their head because it's an easier target. And I was like, that's such good choreography to show, and just everyone how well they execute the scenes.
My favorite thing is whenever he comes in and like someone's like about to pull on him fast, and I think they're gonna outdo him like to the gun, so he shoots their leg first, and then he goes for like they kneel, and then he shoots the head, and it's like, cool.
It's like, oh, you may be quicker on the draw. Like it's like he knows how to compensate for if he doesn't have the faster draw. He knows how to cripple them in time.
Yeah,
because you can learn to do that. If you obviously, it's really hard to actually do that in real life.
Sure,
but it's John Wick. You're like, oh shit.
And then my second favorite after the hammer, the knife kill. It's the one. So he goes into a room and he's fighting a guy, and he's fighting, and then he shoots him, and he's out of bullets, and then you're like, and it's just like fun.
Well, that's another thing that this movie really introduced: reloading and running out of ammo. You really like that was the best part about when I watch this. Like because when you watch action movies, at some point you're like, you would be out of ammo right now. This one, I feel like you're like, if you count the bullets, like they're pretty close and accurate.
I was actually thinking about that when I was watching it. I was like, oh yeah, I think that people used to just didn't think that loading guns is cool.
Yeah.
But if you do it really fast,
it's
and
badass.
Something I love is gun noises. I don't know if you know this. When people are like cleaning guns, like loading guns, like in Last of Us, my favorite thing, when I see a workbench in Last of Us, and that's where you go and you upgrade your gun, and like they take it apart and you got all these gun noises. Like I started playing Last of Us 2 with my wife so she could watch it. And then she's like, it's like, when's there's a workbench? I know that's like one of your favorite things. And then like, she's like, I turn around, I'm like, oh my God, there's a workbench. I just like bolt over to it. Just
it is very satisfying because everything fits into place so precisely.
It's so fun.
I anytime like when I got a new gun last year, a Canic that was like had a Terran tactical coin that came with it. And I forget about like when you're just racking it. I was like, I don't know why, but I love that sound.
It's wild. It's wild. Love it.
You get my friend had a 357 that he just bought, and I just kept doing the chamber, the thing, and like slapping it back in, and then letting it go and slapping it back in.
Number one sound. I know Tyler is on the same one, but because of all the old World War II Call of Duty games, the M1 Garand sound. Ding!
Oh, when that's empty?
Yes. Love that. I always wanted one of those guns just because of that. It's just something about it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Satisfying.
Yeah. All right. So Yosef is able to drive off in the chaos and escape while John is being attacked. He loses his gun and has to have a hand-to-hand combat where he is thrown off a second floor, where he then escapes the red circle and goes back to the Continental to tend to his wounds. Lance Reddick sets him up with a doctor and a drink.
I was going to ask, so in that moment, because I I was trying to explain it to her because, you know, he tackles that one guy to the ground. He pulls the gun out and he has it at Alfie, but he doesn't shoot. He just looks down and shoots the other guy. What do you think he was doing in that moment? Do you think he was like trying to instill fear of be like, I'm coming for you. You can't stop me.
I think what he was thinking was, man, later on, I'm going to have him cornered and I'm just going to walk up and he's going to say something and I'm going to shoot him and then I'm going to walk away and it's going to look fucking sweet.
He's about being the aura farming.
No, I do know.
Delayed gratification.
I think a part of him wanted to be closer.
Okay.
He wanted to be right in his face.
You think he wanted to feel like you couldn't stop me? I want you to think, it's like, this is the first time I'm doing that. You can't stop me. And like they're in a hideout and he hunts them down.
I think he wanted to kill everybody and then kill him.
Yeah.
I think like if he did shoot him, he'd shoot him in the leg, both legs and arms, and then be like, I'll be back. Also, I love whenever he goes in the Continental, he's injured, he's like limping in, like, ugh. Lance Reddick does not change the way he talks to him at all. It's just one of the fun. It really like helps you like build like what this world is. It's like he sees this probably 20 times a day.
You know, I just saw someone like complaint was like, it just seems like all the assassins are only in New York, and I'm like, you do realize like it's a hub of like getting to around the world because they're not just for New York. I was like, New York is probably a central point of this because it's fucking New York.
Also, anybody that has that complaint, New York City is just a fucking rad place to have action movies because everything's on top of each other. Yes. Obviously.
Like Spider-Man.
It's like, right? It's like why whenever they do LA action always has to be set in like cars and stuff like that because it's so sprawled out. Yeah. And so you have to get, like in the movie Heat, it's like, all right, they have to run so much before they get to the big action scene where it's like in the middle of an intersection. You guys got to watch it.
I started it and then I fell asleep. I shouldn't have tried to start it at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's okay. It is a slower film, but
I didn't realize that when I started at 2 a.m. I was like, I have got to go back to this later.
Robert De Niro fucking is reading a book of medals. God, it's
his like
amazing.
That scene where the girl comes up to try and flirt with him.
Yeah, he's like, I was hey, lady, why are you so interested in what I'm reading?
And then like he's like, oh, I'm sorry, and I was like, dude, no, you were a dick.
Yeah. It's like, why does anybody fall in love with anybody in that movie? So, doctor tells him to keep it easy because he's got like 18 stitches in his side, and says if he can't take it easy, take these pills. It will help him, but he will rip his stitches.
And still bleed.
So, and then we see Marcus, he's setting up his sniper rifle. We're like, no, Marcus, you're William Dafoe. We like you. Making us think that he'll kill John. But as John is resting, fun fact about this, this is Keanu Reeves' idea to have him in his underwear. He's like, I want to feel, it's like, I've never really seen a dope action scene where nobody's in their underwear. And also, I want him to feel even more vulnerable than he already is. And we're like, dude, you're already as vulnerable as someone can be.
It makes you feel more real with it because it's like, yeah, that's what you do to get comfortable.
It's like, damn, why didn't John go to sleep in a 3-piece tux? Though I will say, change your shirt, John.
Yeah.
You just showed her where your wounds are.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant when he was in the beginning when he's covered in dog blood or whatever.
Yeah. So, as John is resting, getting some Z's, a hit woman, Miss Perkins, sneaks into his room. Marcus sees
Calls
Perkins.
him a pussy.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
Marcus sees this and from an adjacent building fires a warning shot to alert John, who wakes up and subdues her. Love it. It's like the punching of the wound is the most brutal part. But what I like about this fight is that, you know, it's like male versus female. So there's a lot more like grappling and rolling and her using her body weight to throw him around versus more of like John Wick and like fighting all the dudes. They're like a lot more arm shit, you know,
like
more trying to overpower each other's like arms, and she's just like wrapping herself around him.
And he's
like,
trying not to touch her boobs.
Yeah, he's like, oh, sorry,
it's too soon.
Then she's like, I can touch yours, titty twister. Yeah, they have their whole fight. It's pretty great. It's just I love how we just had an amazing nightclub fight, and then it immediately goes into this, and I feel like the it's a little lessened this fight because of the 2 insane fights we had before this.
Well, you could attribute that to being that he's not going to kill her because it's continental ground. Yeah, and that's another thing they build up in there.
Well, I feel like you can kill her if she attacks first, right?
No, even he didn't do it because that means Marcus could have just shot her. But even Marcus knows you don't do anything like that on the continental ground.
That's true. It seemed like he was going to shoot her. He just never had the shot.
So I feel like he saw her head. He could have shot her. You saw how good of a shot he is.
Yeah. William Dafoe is like, I want John to have a little bit of fun.
He just likes to watch.
But yeah, so
He's on the thing like,
he was jerking off. That was a J-O movement. That's why Jason is crying. But yeah, so he beats her, and she's like trying to crawl out of the room. She's like, not so fucking fast. And then Perkins reveals Vigo has doubled the bounty for her to kill John in the hotel and has concealed a high-value stash in a church. John hires another hitman, Harry, who just comes out and is like, everything all right, John?
I love it. It's so much world building, and it's so good.
And it sucks because, Harry decides like, yeah, I'll watch her for you, ties her to a chair, handcuffs her essentially, and she like breaks her thumb or dislocates it and pulls out and then kills Harry.
Nice.
She said,
I didn't know Harry a lot, but I fucking loved Harry.
I just love his little slacks he had on.
Yeah.
She told me, she's like, it's just like how you do with your thumb. I was like, she dislocated it. Just because I can bend my thumb like that don't mean I'm getting through like freaking, I just got hitchhiker thumb. I'm not getting through handcuffs.
Honestly, when they show her like dislocate her thumb a little bit, I was like, damn, was that the hardest thing for me to watch the whole movie? It's just the sound for it. So, at the church, John destroys Vigo's cache of cash and extensive blackmail material. Loves it. He just walks in, immediately shoots a priest.
Yeah.
And then like three other like people who like almost look like they're drug dealers. He immediately shoots it. There's this old woman in one of the pews. And she like literally does not flinch. She just keeps sitting there like praying.
I wouldn't either, man.
Just like another day.
Her prayer went from like, please cure my old age to please don't let me get shot. Like immediately.
It's like, well, here's your answer. I'm going to cure you of your old age.
Yeah. And I love that there's so much money in this little, because like when they go back there, it's almost like a jail cell full of money and stuff. The priest is like, I can't open this. He's
every church has one of those.
Yeah, that's probably true, especially a church that big.
Yeah, but usually there's little boys in there, sometimes cash.
But what I love is like the priest is like, I can't do this. Vigo's going to kill me. And he's like, I don't know if you're reading this situation, but I'm also going to kill you.
Well, he killed the other guy and he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is the perfect role for Keanu.
Yeah, it really is. But I love that like he goes in there, there's a ton of money and he's like, what are you going to do, spend all that? And he's like, no. And like sets it on fire. And I'm like, I love when heroes or even villains are just like, I don't fucking care about this money.
Man.
It's about sending a message.
And it's the second thing that reminds me of The Dark Knight. In this.
Yeah, the mountain
There's
of money.
three things. You got the Continental is the place for in The Dark Knight Rises. You got the pencil thing for Dark Knight. And now you have the burning a pile of money,
yes.
which is one of the best parts of The Dark Knight when he's like on top of the cash and he's like
sliding down. Like,
he's like, burns it all. It's like, I'll burn my half.
McDuckin in that shit.
It's great. So when Vigo arrives to assess the damage, John assaults him and his men, but is hit whenever one of the henchmen drives a car into another car and hits him. His name is Krill, by the way. He's the main henchman of the movie. And then he gets captured. I love the gun he uses in this. Just looks really cool.
You're talking about, so like in that scene.
I don't know anything about guns. So.
I like that. A bull pup, I think, is what that style is.
Oh, I love a little bull pup.
In this moment, I'm like, this is kind of the typical bad guy moment. Why didn't you just shoot him to get it over with in the church?
Because it's a movie.
I know. I try and sit here, like, in that moment, it's like, this is cliche bad guy. You should take care of him. But then I also try and sit here and think, like, well, why is he not? He respects John. Does he not want to incur the wrath of what would happen after John? Does he think he can get him to stop?
Vigo rhymes with ego.
I think maybe, like, because in the beginning, they talked about how John Wick was how they built up their whole criminal enterprise.
So you think it's respect because he's like, we literally are here because of him.
Maybe they're going to try to get him to, because he just killed everyone. Maybe help get him to try to rebuild it again.
Well, maybe it could be also that they're like, we could see it as an ass. Like if John's obviously back, let's see if we could use him for later.
Yeah, sure.
So I try and think of those moments.
Maybe
I think that he thinks he's got him.
Yeah,
and
it's the cockiness thing.
Yeah,
it's just
that's for certain.
He's like, I got it. I did it. I'm going to be the one that kills John Wick.
You're
and
like,
he's
let's
like,
make it fun.
Yeah. And also, like, even though this is like a very good action movie, it has like all the fucking tropes of every action movie. It's like, oh, we got the Russian mob here. Oh, we have a giant speech before we're about to kill him so we can make sure he gets away. This is a James Bond movie.
Or like Austin Powers.
Yeah.
He's like, just kill him. He's right there.
But I think like when you have screenwriters that write action movies, I think that they love that shit. And I think that's why it's always in all the action movies. And plus, it's New York City. The mob's everywhere, right? I don't know if it's really actually is.
Well, it's also like when you try and equate those people who like, they like to feel power, like you said, ego.
Yeah,
I can see that. They want to see like,
reason.
yeah, I did this, and they're just like, it's gonna be good. And it's like,
yeah,
you think it's good because in reality, how would he gotten out if it wasn't for Marcus? And that leads into that whole thing later that he's like, motherfucker.
It was a badass shot though when they zoom out and like he's surrounded and he's like this little.
Yeah. So John tells Vigo he will not stop until Yosef is dead because the puppy gave him hope and a chance not to be alone in his grief.
Yeah.
When Helen died, I lost everything until that dog arrived on my doorstep. A final gift from my wife. In that moment, I received some semblance of hope, an opportunity to grieve unalone. And your son took that from me, Vigo. Oh, God. But he says it more like, oh, God. But I was like, it'd been better if he was like, oh, God.
Well, because he was walking out, I was like, over a fucking dog.
And then John Wick stole that from me, killed that from me. People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. So you can either hand over your son, or you can die screaming along with him.
Yay.
Love it, bro. I better put my laptop over my crutch, and then immediately plastic bag over his head.
Put that. Will that calm me down?
Bro, this is gonna make it worse.
Do you have a driver keeper you can put over that?
Yeah. Oh, but then immediately, one of like the scariest things to ever happen to anybody: plastic bag over face.
Yeah, man.
And the visual of a plastic bag over a face, because I've seen it in so many movies over the time. Just the open mouth, like
yeah,
it's
horrible,
scary. And I'm like,
I don't think
poke the hole, poke the hole.
I don't think it ever bothers me. I don't think I don't have a strong claustrophobia
It's just like
thing.
a Sunday morning for Dakota.
Yeah, like autoerotic.
Shit, that's how I get off every
asphyxiation.
morning. That's how I start my day.
I just don't like. That's what I always think. Like because usually when they put a bag over them, it's a fucking Walmart bag. I'm like, put your hands up there. And poke the hole. That one you couldn't because that was thick
That
stuff.
was thick. Yeah, thick. But yeah, I do really love the scene. Obviously, it's like I don't know. This scene is what John Wick is.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like you got Keanu Reeves. It's like I've been kind of quiet this entire
I've been
time.
taking it easy on you guys.
But I just watched The Dark Knight. I know. I think I'm back.
I love also because when he goes over and gets the truck pulled over, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" because he's freaked out. And I feel like
wait, yeah. Let's get there. Hold on. So, yeah, plastic bag's out. It really looks like John Wick's gonna die, but you know the movie's called John Wick. So Marcus again intervenes to save John, who kills Krill and threatens and then he's like running. I've got to get him, damn it! And it's great. But yeah, like you were saying, it's like he loves that he like shows up, and it's like I wish there was just like a scene that they put in there, like after we see John Wick kill everybody, and like he runs out the door. He's got Vigo's like, so yeah, I want to like do for dinner since we kind of just took out the most badass in the world. And then like I just love he gets there and he's like, damn it.
Because he's like, whoa, whoa. And I think it's that moment of realization, I can't stop
I just love
him.
that he says like, shit. It's like, it's so
You feel
good.
the fear like, I cannot stop this motherfucker.
Yeah. And then I also love that like, he gets there, he's like, where's your son? And he's like, damn it. Like you just, and like that actor really does a great job of just be like, I lost. I have to give up the location of my son. And he does. He tells him that he's at a safe house. And then I was like, it's well guarded. He's like, it won't matter. It was like John fucking Wick, everybody.
Yeah.
I think it's also like in that moment of like, well, why would he give up his son? He's like, well, if I give up my son, I still have a chance to get revenge later.
And
And well,
you can have more kids.
Like we're going to get to, but actually I think that he was done. He wasn't going to do anything. It was Miss Perkins that changes it. So
you're right. Yeah.
John attacks the safe house and kills Yosef. But while all this is happening, I love like as John Wick's getting there, you see Yosef Vigo. He's just sitting there. He's like preparing his cigarette. He's like, because he knows his son's literally in the process.
He's preparing a blunt.
He's in the process of his son dying right now, and he knows that his and as they go through, because one guy's playing Halo, and he's like, shut the game off, and like John's just taking out all his guys with like a sniper, and then everybody's running out, and then he shoots everybody, and then it's nothing but just Yosef. And then they're like these metal storage containers that are kind of blocking the sides of your screen. And then Yosef's just down on the ground because he's injured, like sitting kind of to the bottom right of the frame. And then you just see John Wick just slowly coming up. He looks magnificent in the suit and the hair, and he's kind of beat up. And he just simply walks up, and then he calls like John Wick a bitch or whatever, something like that. And then just shoots, and then walks away, and it like slowly fades. And it's like cinema.
You were thinking it like, I love it. It's not like because you think this could be towards the end.
Yeah.
And it's such a quick moment of like, he just took everyone out so quickly at this base and he took him out quickly. There was no long monologue or anything like at the kind of like the end with the Vigo. It's like, wow, he's not really like, what is happening? Are we almost done? No, there's more.
Yeah. And like, of course, he like snipes out everybody and the guards. He blows up their getaway cars, which is great. Yeah. And then you have Vigo's like, make the arrangements. And it's like, fuck, his son died. So John Wick goes back to the hotel, whose manager gives him a new car as an apology for Miss Perkins.
Oh.
Marcus meets with John and tells him it's time for him to get out and just go home and try to live a normal life. It's like, can you?
No, dude.
He's like, what do I know? Because of her is what I knew.
Yeah.
I'd at least need another dog, and I can't get one of those.
Yeah.
They're not as common as you think.
And then, but while this is happening, Perkins witnesses this and reveals Marcus' duplicity to Vigo, who has him tortured and killed. And like, you also, like, before we see like what happens to Marcus, Vigo calls John to taunt him with the details, drawing him back to the city. But yeah, it's just like you got Marcus, he's sitting there and he's punching him and stuff. You see that there's like brass knucks. He's like putting his hand in ice. And then we see like they stab his leg and Marcus is like, I'm going out my own terms, kills two of the henchmen and then like kills them. And then what I love is like Vigo's like, good play, old friend. And it's like, if these guys weren't bad guys, they'd all just be drinking in a bar right now. Probably.
They're not bad guys. They just get paid to do a job. We get paid to do jobs.
Yeah, well, I mean, no. But yeah, so this is going to draw him back to the city. John goes to Marcus's house to find him dead. But it's just like, why, Vigo? You could have been done with Wick. Yeah. It was over, Vigo. Ego. That's all it is. It's ego shit, man.
I think it's because he would have been done, but like you said, Perkins came in and told him about the Marcus thing, and that pissed him off. He's like, because he probably realized in that moment when he, come out of the church with a shotgun, he's like, if it wasn't for him, John Wick would have been dead. So
but it's like, you got to swallow that, man. John's going to kill you. He's killed everybody.
Well, it doesn't matter. You got ego. He's like, he may be unstoppable, but I'll add more men. You're not that unstoppable. I think I can do it.
Yeah.
It's always that thinking, the pride or something.
Yeah.
That you can do it. Like, no one's this good. It's like, he's a fucking boogeyman.
No one's going to respect him unless he tries.
Yeah, I guess so. And I mean,
if it's like you let him kill your son, you sold your son out.
Also, if he kills John Wick, right? That makes his status, because he lost all his blackmail, all of his money and everything. So he lost everything on everybody. So he has no power. He kills John Wick. That's a lot of power.
Yeah.
So we hear Lance Reddick call Miss Perkins saying, I'm sorry to call you at this hour. We see that she walks to this like open area and Winston pops up and has Perkins executed for the breaking of the Continental rules and then informs John that Vigo's preparing to leave the city by helicopter. Winston, Miss Perkins, pauses as he walks up to Miss Perkins. Your membership to the Continental has been by thine own hand revoked. Gunman executor. It's great.
Love that.
I love like the way he says, by thine own hand.
When I went back and rewatched, because before 4 came out, I went back and watched the other 3.
Yeah.
So I'd forgotten because I hadn't watched 1 as much because I really like the sequels. And I was sitting here, I was like, oh, I forgot about this girl. It's like, she just killed people on the Continental Crown. Because, the second one makes such a big deal about it. And I was like, what happens? I was like, oh, damn, I didn't realize. I completely forgot about this.
It's like, did she not know? I would have been like, I'm not going to any place with you guys.
Like,
I think hers is because she thinks she's better. She's the folly of youth.
Yeah, that's
thinking she like anger and not learning to respect. I think that's how I saw her. She's youth versus these people who are established and learning to respect. And that was her giveaway. She's like, I don't care about the Continental, while the other old heads understood to respect it.
Yeah. So John races to New York Harbor where he fights his henchman. Runs over a guy and shoots him as he rolls over his car. It's great. We see that Avi asks for a gun, and it's like, Avi, mayhem, have a gun with you every single second. You're in a mob.
Just the guy in the back, Vigo's just sitting here like, oh, it's happening, and you can't stop it. And he asks him for the gun. I was like, oh, you want it?
Yeah, and he like, Vigo starts messing with him, pulling it, and he's like, you're such a fucking asshole.
Russian asshole. But it's like, dude, no, he just understands. He's taking his final smoke.
Yeah. If I was Avi, I would have gotten out, and I would just fallen and pretend to be dead.
Yeah. Oh, whoops.
I love how Mayhem gets hit with a car. And
it's
car
so
insurance.
great. He gets run over. It's perfect. So, Then Vigo gets the upper hand by crashing into John, and he like pushes his car over. It doesn't explode because it's a realistic movie. Vigo tells John no more guns, and then it starts raining, and they have their hand-to-hand combat. An injured Wick struggles with Vigo a bit, but ultimately wins. And then I love because like they're kind of just stabbing each other a little bit, and then he stabs him like I don't know on the shoulder or
like
somewhere.
I think he gets him a little bit right here, but at this angle, you hit like a major because you have your carotid artery.
Yeah,
your neck. I think the angle he put it in, and obviously that dude ain't gonna last.
Yeah,
I think the angle he put it would hit like a very major artery, and he would have bled out internally mostly.
Yeah, and so like they kind of sit after like the fight. It's like Vigo's, be seeing you, John. Yeah. Be seeing you.
Oh,
fuck yeah!
That's because they say that there's other and all the other ones. There's always like some big fight he has with someone like he's like the main henchman, and they always say like in the next one was it who was that
can't remember off the top of my head. I have to rewatch it.
He was that rapper guy, right?
Common,
yeah. So Common and it has the same thing. It says be seeing you, and it happens again in the third one. Be seeing you, and I didn't realize in their mind because I didn't realize it was connection themes. Like when they say be seeing you, it's like you're gonna be dead too soon, so I'll be seeing you soon.
Oh, yeah,
that's
like
how I
saw Assassin
that.
Heaven.
The freaking Common and Wick fight where they're just with their silencers shooting each other in the
that's
in like they're in like a train station and they're just like pew 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 like trying to secretly hide it. It's so
that
good.
was so fun. And then like falling down those concrete stairs, like, well, this has gotten out of the realm of somewhat realistic. And Shell would be dead.
So John, resigned to dying from his injuries, watches on his phone a video of Helen telling him that he needs to go home. He breaks into a nearby animal clinic to treat his wounds and adopts a pit bull puppy scheduled to be euthanized before beginning to walk home. John Wick, the end. So,
dog lover.
What's the point of John Wick? What's the movie trying to say? Is it trying to say anything, or is it just trying to be like, action? Cool.
I think action cool.
I could see some moments of like, that whole world of like you think you're out and it's not hard to like the whole easy thing is like you think you could be out of this world like because you always think about people who grow up in rough neighborhoods and they say I got out, but it's so easy if you just even that little bit of a drop you're easily pulled back in.
Yeah. For this movie specifically, I know it's maybe not all of them because the next one it's just like a guy he gave like some sort of coin thing like it's a special like I you gave this to me so you have to do this for me now. But in this one, I think it's like revenge and violence only leads to more vengeance and violence. Because it's like, you killed the puppy, took his car, so he has to kill Yosef. Kills Yosef, Vigo's like, well, I'm going to kill Marcus. Marcus died, well, now John Wick's got to kill Vigo. And it's just like, none of this had to happen.
It's also
if everybody's just fucking nice to each other.
Well, it's also just like you got to learn to let it go, or do you want to keep going down the path of revenge, what it leads to? And it's like, John, are you really out, or do you really enjoy this life?
Yeah, and also being young age with power corrupts people, like Yosef, who just like he could do anything that he wanted to anybody, but turns out you can't when there's hitmen everywhere. Yeah, I think like I think ultimately the movie is just about fuck yeah, gun fu, baby.
He was
don't fuck with my dog
for his love.
Yeah, but if I could find a point, it's just like revenge and violence, but it's also a revenge movie. So that's what revenge movies are about.
Spay and neuter your pets.
That is true, everybody.
Also, don't have a Mustang.
I want to know why that dog was gonna get euthanized.
Because it's a pit bull.
Probably someone bought a pit bull and they couldn't,
exactly that
in New York, and they couldn't have it in their apartment, so maybe they just.
Well, people get those dogs.
It was a puppy though.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like
we probably still ate a baby.
It's like could we just send it somewhere?
Well, my coworker has a Stafford thing, which is like a pit bull, and that thing is like 70 pounds. And the way he talks about it, it has a like how Broly jumps around. Think of having that same energy, but with like 70 to 80 pounds of weight.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
we have that. Claws.
That's Snake.
Does Snake tackle you?
No, but he knows better. He tackles you guys.
Yeah.
He's not nearly as excited about me when I'm here. So, all right. Well, that's the point of the movie, apparently. So we're going to hit, and if you have a different point of the movie, send us some fan mail. It's in the description at the top. You can click the link, or if it doesn't allow you to click the link, go to the bottom and it's werecommendmailbag@gmail.com. I'm good at saying that.
Like bullet points.
Yeah.
I love that you have this category because whenever we do The Last Jedi, I would love to see what other people's opinions are.
Yeah, so please start emailing me. So we're going to hit our next category. The good, the bad, the ugly, the fine. So we discuss the good of the film, what we liked about the movie. It could be a scene. It could be the whole thing. It could be the actors, whatever. The bad, something you didn't like. The ugly, something that didn't age well. The fine, something that did age well. So I think for obviously the good is action and Keanu Reeves. I mean, that's like the whole point. These movies are good. It's just like a perfect mesh of just a brilliant action star and just brilliant directing.
Yeah, I think it was the seamless sequel to Point Break.
Yeah. Ooh, Jason, I actually have a question. So on Collateral, you said like the and then stuff makes it like a bad movie. But is this? But I guess you do get like a little more story at the beginning.
It's just if you kill a dog,
it's over. It's vengeance. Okay,
it's over.
Because I was thinking while watching it, I was like, because I immediately watched this after we recorded Collateral, and I was like, well, so John Wick's die, and then he gets a puppy. And then the puppy dies, and then he kills people, and then he goes to the Continental, and then he kills more people, and then he goes back to Continental.
But the reason is the puppy.
Yeah.
And plus the wife.
Okay.
Also.
I get it.
I guess.
All right. So any other goods?
I think, like I said, it just set a new standard for me on like action scenes in movies. That's like my good for it.
Yeah.
Like it was a new
top tier.
Yeah, top tier of like, this is the new standard. You better follow it because this is like the gold. Like to me, it's like the gold standard. And Fall Guy went up to that gold standard of stunts to show that. Like there's certain movies that do that. And
oh yeah, I've been meaning to watch that.
Oh, so dude, it's really good.
I think it's on Peacock still.
It is.
So yeah, and just like I don't know, just the nightclub scene and the beginning scene action film, so good. So for the bad, I put the final fight scene.
Finally, yeah,
sure.
I could deal.
Even in theaters, I was like, oh, so we're doing the Taken thing. So where it's like he just saw the hitman kill or the action star kill all these young, spry, crazy people, and then it's like,
and then he handicaps himself.
He got hit with a car. He's tired.
He's got to do hand-to-hand combat with a guy that looks like he probably couldn't even do a squat.
Yeah, I really just didn't like how not enough people died.
You'll like the sequels.
Yeah. Oh, good.
It's probably like doubles the death.
They keep going. I think they keep having more deaths per one. I know the second one is like way higher.
Well, and like they all get like 10 to 15 minutes longer each time too. So
that last one's like 3 hours, but it's so good when you first watch it. And you're like, this is just constant John Wick action. What can I not like?
Yeah, falling down the stairs.
I can only have an erection for 4 hours. I have to go to the hospital.
Hey, I gotta go. It's like, did he take Viagra? And wife would be like, no. It's like, did he watch John Wick? Yeah, that's one of the things we have on here.
John Wick related deaths skyrocket.
It's like every time I was like, damn, I can't get it up. All right, let me put John Wick on. What do you got for bad?
Bad, it's just maybe some of the cliche moments, the final fight, yeah, like you said. There's just a few like little weak parts, like, but I explained them like how I see them weak moments, but I can kind of like in my head reason it out a little more.
Gotta hold my microphone. Earthquake's about to
shut up.
All right, so we're gonna go to the ugly. It's something that didn't age well. Something that I never realized in this movie is how much luck went into Wick surviving this movie.
Oh yeah,
Marcus twice. I mean, it's like always just like, oh dang, this thing happened and he was able to get out of a deadly situation. And I was like, I don't remember that as much.
No,
from the first time I watched it, but I was like, oh, it's a very like Deus Ex Machina type thing.
I think they kind of get rid of that a lot in the sequels. I feel like it's more, there's moments where it happens, but not on that level. Like Marcus is straight up like,
yeah,
there is.
Yeah, because without Marcus, Wick died.
Yes, they have a lot less moments of that in the sequel. So I think that could be like the ugly.
Yeah, I thought it was just like a lot of, which I mean, just kind of like a cheap way to keep getting them out of all these hard situations. But that was it.
I don't really have anything for the ugly.
I disagree with you.
Yeah. Cool. So we're going to do the fine, something that aged well.
Killing Russians.
Yes! Mob Russians. Unless you listen to the podcast,
well, yeah,
then you're
obviously, and they're all in the mob.
We do actually have Russian listeners. So.
Well, they could be using a VPN, but.
That is true. They could be using a VPN. No. But if you're Russian, we ain't got a problem with you.
No, of course
But in
not.
movies, you're always bad, and we can't help that.
Just the bad ones.
There's always someone's got to be the bad guy, and it's just Russia right now.
Always killing people with
borscht. We had the Germans for a good minute, guys. Yeah. Good minute.
Competent action for me, and Keanu will never die. Long live Keanu.
He's also been in the SpongeBob show movie, so I mean you can't beat that.
Yeah, they literally made
that was the peak of his career.
Mm-hmm.
There's a movie called Keanu, and he voices the cat.
Nice.
He goes, meow.
Oh yeah, when it's all he does. I did not know that. That's
yep.
That is beautiful.
Keanu.
I don't know. I think Russians are just like some of the best villains ever.
They really are,
and they're so
it's because they're always to portray them as like the tough guys, and that's what's so cool. Is like it's when you're portrayed as the bad guy, but you're portrayed in like a tough way.
Sure, and they're always like the criminal underbelly, and you just want to just wipe them out.
So that's that category. No, great job, guys. Sorry,
I'm not like anti-USSR.
I was looking something up. So then we're gonna hit our next category. It's called double feature. It's where we pick a movie that goes well with this movie. I'm gonna say mine first, so no one else says it. I picked The Raid Redemption.
Oh, that's a good one.
An action movie so good that in the sequels they nearly brought everybody from this movie and put them in the John Wick movies.
Well, then we know they're
specifically Mad Dog from Redemption. That guy, you've probably seen him in a ton of action movies. He's like, he looks older. He's got the long hair. And it's like where John Wick is like in that like really well lit room that's a bunch of glass. Mm-hmm. Oh, and he fights the two guys. Those are the people from Raid Redemption. So what do you guys got? It's essentially, if you ever seen Dredd, it's inspired Dredd because it's just the SWAT team essentially is going into this building to rescue somebody, and he's got to fight his way up.
Because it's also like it's one of those buildings that's so big it has so many people. It's like its own community, or like, what am I trying to say? Like,
yeah, and it's like a poorhouse essentially.
Yeah, so like it's so tensed in there. It's like it's just weird to see it. It's like a slum, but instead of being spread out, it's in this contained building, like a prison almost. I guess.
And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, the action is so fucking sick.
Favorite scene I think is the fucking machete, and he just.
I love when like they break a door and then it's like there's like a little chunk like to a point like at the bottom, and he like takes it and he jumps over this guy and like slams his neck down on it.
Their stunt are so cool because they take like, I feel like when you look at how
they're smaller and sprier and they're jumping everywhere.
They move like Rey Mysterio. It just like moves a lot.
Yeah.
Jason, what's your movie?
He's looking it up.
Yeah, I was looking it up. I was trying to think of this. I had it earlier, but there's this movie where all the villains are on like bike helmets, and he kills 1 billion of them. I can't remember it now.
Bike helmets, like
there's a lot of like faceless villains, but they're wearing like these black helmets.
Premium. Oh, that's a bicycle thing.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's called. So I guess nothing.
Well, I'll get mine. Maybe Jason will figure it out.
Yes.
My recommended movie is Sisu.
Oh yeah, Sisu. It's like the war movie, right?
Kind of.
Kingsman.
Kingsman. Okay. Yeah, that would be a good one. Sisu was like set after World War II. Old man lost his family, but he's still trying. I think he lost his family after the war.
Yeah, it's when the war.
No, actually, the war is happening. World War II is getting near the end.
Yeah, it's like when an ex-soldier who discovers gold in the Lapland wilderness tries to take the loot into the city. German soldiers led by a brutal SS officer battle him.
That sounds awesome.
It's really, and it's like he doesn't like talk at all. It's basically like another John Wick, and that was like one day it was when we had our movie pass. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, let's go see Sisu, and we were like, oh, this is a good movie. And it's really worth it, especially like John Wick and like kind of revenge things. It's good.
And I think the Kingsman is like super silly, but that church scene is so good.
I think the first one was really fun. I haven't seen any other ones.
I haven't seen any other ones.
The second
either.
one was kind of.
They got cowboys in it. I really wanted to watch it.
Isn't
Pedro in that?
No. I don't think so.
Not? Oh, my bad.
I know. Well, you got Justin Timberlake,
Channing Tatum's in
and
it,
Channing
right?
Tatum.
He spits the chewing tobacco on the thing.
It's just there's certain they do a typical thing. I think Kingsman to me was like, this is a spy movie, like a goofy spy movie, but modern, and it's fun to watch.
It was really fun.
I just like this is a good like.
And then the princess offers him anal sex.
Dude, that was hilarious.
So bad.
That church scene. That church scene. I just was not expecting it. I'm just sitting here. I was in the theater the whole time with my mouth open like.
I know, that was awesome.
I need to have that happen a little bit now.
That is our episode on John Wick 1. Thank you for listening, and make sure you join us next week, because after we just did 2 Hitman action movies, we're going to go into something a little bit sillier, and we're talking about wedding singers, because we're doing my favorite Adam Sandler
grab your
comedy,
meatballs,
The Wedding Singer.
I've not seen it.
You haven't seen it? Oh, it's so funny. I cry at the end.
I think I tried to put it on the other day, but wasn't in the mood.
It's on Peacock. Yeah. Oh man, when he does his like song, when he after he got broken up, it's like do. Yeah. I want to kill myself.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Kill me, please. Pretty
please.
Kill me.
It's so good. There's a lot that didn't age well in that movie.
Oh,
So
man.
it's going to be a fun category. Yeah, join us next week for that. And thank you for listening. As I said earlier, please send us some fan mail. Be like, Dakota's a great guest. Yeah.
Or you hate him, tell him to shut up.
Yeah. Also say that.
I can hear him shaking his leg.
But yeah, send us some fan mail. Please leave us a review. If you know any John Wick fans, tell them, be like, hey, listen to this cool
Are there
podcast.
any?
John Wick fans?
wow.
No.
If
And
you
there's
like guns,
definitely-
you like John Wick.
There's definitely not 3 of us in this room. So yeah, join us next week for Wedding Singer. Leave us some reviews. Give us some fan mail. I like to thank Joey Prosser for our intro and outro music. You can follow him on X at Mr. Joey Prosser. And anybody else got anything to say?
Kill me. I want to die.
Guess that's John Wick's theme for the rest of the movies.
Yeah.
But you can't.
And well, this has been the We Recommend podcast. I'm Jesse.
Jason.
Dakota.
And remember, we're the men you send to kill the fucking boogeyman.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.